Grimmeth looks like angrily at Manikai. Manikai's like, it's how it was designed, Grimmeth.
It's just
Uh,
yeah.
I mean, I ran that campaign as written exactly, and it just murdered
We
everyone.
should have min-maxed like super hard. It's like they looked at the Pathfinder rule set and like, okay, how strong characters can you make here? Let's design for those,
Yeah, I don't
not
know.
for like a barbarian who is
but
has little sense and the gunslinger who gets good at level 5 or whatever, and
yeah,
then
too much of that campaign is a blur for me. I can't remember those details.
I mostly just remember that end. I remember the robot scorpion. Like I think the party was
zombie.
like level 4, and that scorpion was like level 7, mythic rank 3 or something.
Yes. I do recall being informed that there was a way to reduce the power of that scorpion, and it involved a chip of some kind. And I was like, I don't even think I was here for that session. Oh my God.
And
Ah.
in retrospect, I don't think it would have made a difference. It would have been like -2 to all his attack rolls.
Yes, when Jake's character gets transformed, and no, it wasn't Jake's character, it was Jonas's character. And I got hit with that.
Oh boy, how many years ago was that? I still remember at least that last moment very vividly.
That was in the 2016 range. That's why I can't remember it too well.
Yeah, it's been a while. Oh well.
Oh well.
Fun fact though, that campaign was basically the precursor to Paizo Starfinder. A lot of what happens in that campaign actually flows into Starfinder.
Yes, I remember hearing that. Maybe that's one of the reasons that the Starfighter didn't hit so well with me. Yeah, our introduction to that was on November 30th, 2015.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It's a different time back then.
It sure was. Hey, Ari, how do you sound?
I don't know. How do I
Oh
sound?
no. you
That
sound like a 1990s like a voice modulator that turns people into robots.
that's entirely accurate, actually.
Yeah, I was thinking the Geth from Mass Effect.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no. Maybe try some percussive maintenance
One
on
of
your headset.
one of those romanceable ladies. I think the one who has to wear like the gas mask or whatever.
Oh,
What? No, the Geth are the robots.
No, I don't hear the Geth so much as that romanceable lady who has to wear the mask.
Really?
Who are like the enemies of the Geth, I think.
yeah, they didn't like each other. I
I
remember
say romanceable lady, it's a BioWare game. Like half the people are bangable.
I remember her being fairly upset when I helped Legion. Legion, was that his name? Yeah.
Hello?
Oh, that's me.
Hey!
Yes.
Yeah, you're back to your normal self. What
I did a
happened?
test and I was like, wow, you guys are right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Discord reset all my
Have
settings after updating, so.
And the default setting is robot.
Yeah,
Apparently, yeah.
every time one of those Windows updates have to happen, you genuinely have to police like your sound settings. Like I have to do that for where I record it. I have to do that for programs like Discord. It just
I hate Windows 10 so much.
it's in the process of like, oh yes, as part of our update, we reinstalled your sound drivers. We keep doing that.
Also, there's a new sound program we want you to use. And you're like, no, no.
We reinstalled Microsoft Edge and then set it as the favorite browser. Because why not?
Are you sure you want to use this as your default program?
We have a free trial for this one for 1
Uh,
month.
as acid and bitterness just like drips off of everyone's like,
Yeah.
lips.
Bile. Just
There we go. All right. You are quieter, Ari, but at least you are non-robot, and that's a huge step in the right direction. Matter of fact, that is
I'll
actually the entire right
continue
direction.
working on it a little bit.
Okay. All right. You folks ready to get started? I can provide a recap for you.
Please do.
All
Sure.
right. Welcome, dear audience member and fellow players. This is Dreads of the Dragon Coast, Session 90 campaign we have played over the past 2 years. Before I launch into the recap proper, I understand as a viewer it may be difficult to follow this series. Session 90 here on Halldamir and Rahal's YouTube channel. I handled 89, 88, and 87. Sheep tried handling Session 86 for about 15 minutes, which is labeled as Session 82 on Halldamir and Rahal's YouTube channel, before I handled that. And I also handled Sessions 85, 84, and 83. Session 82 is on this channel, but it's labeled as Session 81 to go along with the actual Session 81. I get how there can be a mix-up. That's what happens when we lose the primary broadcaster for this campaign and the secondary broadcaster for this campaign, the tertiary broadcaster for this game, and I can't even count that high. That's where we live right now.
What is the word like tertiary?
What
Tertiary,
something,
but
right?
for fall.
Tertiary. Oh, wait, no.
I'm sure it exists, right?
You guys couldn't just take how I handled it. You're like, what is that thing?
What is it though?
Oh shit.
Answer in the comments when you like and subscribe.
Yes, to the channel of the people who are not involved in this campaign.
At this point, we're sort of vestigial.
Yes. All right. So we'll start from the top of the Dragon Coast map. Last session, we went through 4 years of gameplay content. While the dragons are suffering from the curse of lethargy, Yaffel's body is being reconstituted and drawing in even more power from us. Sheep was also absent that session, though perhaps he'd be able to deliver a recap of his own. All the same, here we are. At the top, within 4 years of time, Symbia has, as far as the information we've been conveyed in the campaign, fallen under the watchful gaze of a greater deity, Shar, mistress of the night, as the Shadowvar, the returned Netheril people, have come back to Toril, and they will blanket this planet in night. And they have gotten cracking on that, as you can see, with such a powerful spread of shadow that it reaches our side of the Dragon Coast. Symbia has attacked Cormyr, launching into the no man's land between the two empires and reclaiming it, and positioning themselves to strike into Cormyr directly. Cormyr, of course, the greatest bastion of law and order in this region. And we have a prime opportunity to interfere in that, or just watch it go down. A bit of editorializing here. We don't want any powerful empire in the region. Maybe lesser of the two evils. Beyond that, going here, bit more reading order. This beautiful, nice, peaceful area of the city-states. The Cormyrian expedition no longer needed over here because nothing's really causing trouble. And as it turns out, Erebor can look over to the Shadow Place and say, no, I don't want the returned, people, and I don't want Shar, Mistress of the Night, to rule over me either. You go. And so the Cormyrian expedition that was over here in the southern coast, rebuilding a settlement, is probably just going to throw itself over here. Tazir, the Wasted Weed have fully integrated into it, and it is very much controlled by Cormyr, not that Cormyr can do a whole lot with it at this point. Westgate is in the throes of another civil war. Things got complicated when the previous rulers of the city, the Captain's Council, forsook their obligations to go chase after a pirate king and crown a new pirate king and integrate themselves more fully. The Captain's Council still exists, and they're still a powerful faction, but they're no longer within the Dragon Coast. They've been booted out. Due to the actions of my faction as well as Ares' faction, they were thoroughly gutted, and then couldn't return back to Westgate. Oops. in that power vacuum, the Church of Bane attempted to make a move. As you can see, their circle hasn't gotten bigger. And that's because their eternal foe, the Cult of Cyric, brought in the Red Banner host. Red Banner host wanted to murder and pillage. Cult of Cyric is like, hey, we love killing. Let's go kill together. And so they did. It also helped that the Marked are temporarily out of Westgate, as the most powerful lieutenant within Ares faction has decided to go be a mercenary and fight a land war against Cormyr. It's also worth noting that the Captain's Council did have the Orb Storms that had been stolen from Cormyr. Cormyr got that back. I can't fathom how. War wizards, you know? It happens. Elsewhere on the map, you can see some posturing and positioning from Daeon's faction, as well as the Fire Giants. Fire Giants who are not trained to be farmers or, anything that can feed and support themselves. We then have Gulfmere and Naflan. See, it turns out that Naflan's heir was blessed by Nobanyan. It was a huge thing. It was discussed in prior sessions. Just like they tried and struggled to reach out to Naflan, and Naflan finally returned all of those attempts with a boon, a blessing, which was a mark upon Naflan's heir. And it turns out that mark is a spell scar. So good news, you reach contact with Nobanyan. Bad news, it's a spell scar. And now, through methods I can't quite fathom, the Emerald Enclave knows completely that this happened. Thanks entirely to the actions of Cindermoon and in no way, shape, or form influenced by my faction. And so worship of Nobanyan within the Gulfmere Forest has been outlawed for the time being, and the Emerald Enclave is in flux, upheaval, crisis, along with worshippers of Nobanyan in general, for what this means moving forward. There we go. That's your summary of what happened. If you want specific details, make sure to look at my YouTube channel for session 89.
Thank you. That's good.
And comment and subscribe to Grimace. Ring the
I think,
bell.
let's be honest, most people who watch these probably are already.
I would think so.
Anyway, we have a lot of goal slots open. Currently, we have 2 goals. We have one to obtain the Tome of the Dragon, and one to integrate the Emerald Enclave and the Verdant Eclipse into one. That leaves a whole bunch of possibilities, and I think we should discuss what we want to put there. As I can see, that is 1 for Grimith, 1 for Sheep, and 2 for Airy. Potentials.
I think what I would like to accomplish would be to integrate the Cult of the Dragon. We're just hanging out, waiting to be integrated, basically.
Yeah, I'll put that as an easy goal at the moment. Integrate Cult of the Dragon. All right. Anything else you'd like to accomplish?
Who are you talking to?
Anyone?
Everyone. Oh, I have goals. Oh, so many goals. I have enlist the aid of the Shadower to find a back way to the ritual side.
All right. Yeah. Seems like a hard goal. They have other things they're dealing with at the moment. In return to that, they're busy people, but it's not impossible.
And another one is locate the
Aid
story.
of the Shadower in finding or in researching and
Yeah.
in doing what?
Enlist the aid of the Shadower to find a back way to the ritual side. I have written, but
Find an alternate
yeah.
route to the ritual. All right. Sure.
And another goal is locate the storm orb.
Locate the orb. So is it just finding out where it is? Or do you actually want to have it? Or like what's
Yeah, there's a
I
difference
do
between
want to have
finding
it.
it and possession of it.
Yeah, true. I do want it.
so obtain should really be the
Yes. Well, I figured the first step is to find it.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, sure. Find would be an easy goal.
Ah, give me the obtain. Why not?
All right.
that's right. You might do that this session, Harry.
See, I
Yeah.
call that medium. I think it's possible. It really is depending on roles in that
It
case. So
always
we'll
is.
call it medium. Obtain the orb of storms.
Sure. Cool.
It's not like, yeah, it's sort of basically it could be very hard or very easy depending on how things go this session.
Yeah,
All right.
that's
As
mine.
for my second goal slot, I want to try and trick Faye. I want to convince whatever like expedition or force like comes from Faye next, from the paranoid Zastam, that the information they got from Westgate and erroneous what from Westgate and Avalon was erroneous. That the signs were there so that Yaffle could disguise being elsewhere.
Mhm.
So that, when they come here, like to the Giants Run Mountains, like following their natural progression of the clock, that what they end up discovering takes them away from here instead of keeping them here.
Yeah. All right.
I wasn't sure how to articulate that into a succinct thing, but that's what I intend to work on.
Mhm.
Sabotage their clock, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, we could go with that. I think that is a medium goal. They are fairly paranoid. The people who'll be showing up obviously haven't been here before. Um, you have time. You have different approaches. I think it's a medium goal
All
to
right.
mislead an expedition to reduce their progress. Does that seem okay?
Yeah.
Then these will be our goals.
There. We have 6 goals again, everyone.
Mhm. This went quick compared to.
Well, it was necessary. Otherwise, Aries known that she had those 2 goal slots floating. She didn't have anything. That would have been awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've been thinking.
I can't wait to not complete any of these in the next 5 sessions.
We all just go on an adventure into the Underdark. Surprising Manica.
Come on, everyone. Let's sail out and find the Pirate King. What adventure.
Yes. What more could we want in life?
All right. Well, with that, I suppose I will. You heard the news basically from Grimmith, and you can expect Valignith to know what's been going on. You understand? You also watched the session or some of it, so
Most of it, like the 3/4.
so you might have a pretty good idea of what's been going on. He would as well. I figured some of the stuff he had been doing these years would have been to scout around for a new lair potentially. And I suppose he could also have been working with the cult leader.
Yeah, in general, I don't think the Dragonfane is going to be nearly as flashy and active, with Valignith basically not being able to act much,
Mhm.
as Valignith himself really is the driving force behind anything it does, and without that, it's really just a bunch of different groups who are maybe not entirely buying into the whole thing that the Dragonfane and Valignith stand for, but they're not like required to either. Like they're there because they can profit from helping him, and so presumably without him, they sort of all do their own things.
Yeah. In here, though, he will hear of something that has been going on in Thunderhome. A trial is afoot. because one of the younger nobles of the home has been discovered having a shrine to Tiamat in his personal home.
Oh,
While it has not been directly stated that this is illegal, Tiamat is generally an evil deity, comparable to devils or demons, and demon worship is certainly not something Thunderhome considers acceptable. However, it has not been as open and shut of a case as some would have liked, as there's been a lot of debate as to what should be done with this. Is it acceptable to worship Tiamat in your own home? Beyond that, this trial has also given the well the heretic or heathen even a a stage, as he has been allowed to speak to the public and try to justify his actions. The arguments have been, to some, perhaps convincing, essentially saying that, well, Tiamat has shown results. Tiamat is strong, and there's been power. Beyond that, of course, though it hasn't been attempted, there is a definite leaning towards Benignith. The dragon has, in every instance, done things that has benefited us. In one way or another, whether we knew it at the time, the dragon has shown the best of intentions. Such words are spoken during this debate. It is quite large. A lot of people are here. There is a high tribunal of as it was dwarves, elders, meaning that the general thought is that this guy is going to be punished in some way, as many of these older dwarves are less convinced of such arguments. But, well, who knows? It is an ongoing situation.
All right.
More paranoia and more self-investigation goes on. Some people even rallying and saying that, well, personal choice of deity. He's done nothing otherwise illegal beyond setting up a shrine. Besides, isn't the silver mine dedicated to Tiamat?
I know, right?
Yeah, I guess they should outlaw Tiamat, then Vandignif have his own silver mine, you know? That would only be fair.
Another divisive argument that I think you would have heard is that it's been argued by this heretic that sort of, let's be honest, we didn't actually build this silver mine by ourselves. This is not a dwarven mine. It was full of the bones of the people who dug it, who were decidedly human. Thus, our whole claim to it being part of our ancestry is absolutely bogus, and the only reason we hold it is greed. Not something to be ashamed of course, he would say, looking at the judges, for we all feel it in our hearts. Greed is part of us, as we should appreciate it. It has given us much wealth. Had we been afraid, and had we not enjoyed the wealth we gained, we would have lost it a long time ago. Uncomfortable truths, perhaps. Not a popular way to look at the world.
I think I just want to let that play out without actually interfering,
Mm-hmm.
just to see what happens. And also because previous interference has never gone my way, so who's to say that that would stop? I mean, surely truth prevails, right?
Surely.
Yes, in politics, clearly truth always prevails.
Harry turns to look at the audience, wooden
Yeah.
smile on her lips.
That's how it works.
I love democracy.
On that note, though, regarding the last few years that I haven't been present, literally, Fundhome is trying to rebuild Elversol, right?
Yes, that has been an ongoing project.
Yeah, I think the Dragonflame would have actually offered assistance with that because, I mean, that has always sort of been the idea that Elversol would be sort of in the trading outpost in both the Dragonfanes and Thunderhome's area of influence, and it used to be that way, sort of, until it wasn't anymore, and then Malignant got tired of it. So, yeah, I'm all for that attempt, really.
Sure. They're making steady, slow progress, but yeah, I mean, they wouldn't stop you from just bringing stuff and like building houses. Certainly, that's another argument in favor of he burned a corrupt city and now rebuilds it alongside us.
Well, probably not Malignant himself, but like,
Oh,
that image of like the Spirehorn behemoths like carrying logs and stuff.
yeah, yeah. Bulldozer dinosaurs pushing dirt.
Oh, the big Triceratops. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's happening.
It's a
Beyond, sorry.
it's a good sign that they're having that discussion. Although I hope it doesn't mean like another Thunderhome civil war where another half of Thunderhome goes elsewhere. Because
Elsewhere.
I know mathematically Thunderhome will continue existing, but it's gonna go infinitely close to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Zero
keep
point zero
splitting.
zero zero zero. Yeah. You know, they're talking about it. Not splitting off really. That's not really on the line. More just like, is this acceptable? Probably wouldn't be back home. We aren't back home. Beyond that, Recicatrix will be informed through the grapevine that a couple of black dragons have flown over Westgate, circling a couple of times, uh, and gone back north to the darkness of Omir.
okay. A threat.
Perhaps, yeah.
Yeah. It hasn't even been. It's been like 2 years, man. Chill.
4 years passed last session.
4?
Mhm.
4.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
Time flies when you sleep a lot.
Just like dragons.
yeah, exactly. And it takes a long time to accumulate that kind of wealth.
Yeah. So that's something that has happened. Beyond that, I suppose, I mean, we should really just get into it. We have a lot of years to get through. So let us go. Cormier recoiled at the end of last year, and this year there's going to be a cold front.
It's a
Symbia,
new year.
yes,
Yes.
interlude. Symbia realigns its forces on the new border, and the shadows over Cormier thicken. The nation spent this year recovering and realigning their own expectations, as Cormier is not really. They got pushed back hard, and everything seems to indicate that Serbia is planning a proper invasion. Certainly, there's also the information the marked get. Prepare yourself. Soon we will feast in Marsember. To the north of Cormier, in the sort of no man's lands that lie in that place, also shrouded in darkness at this point, people have spoken of what appears to be flying massive rocks moving slowly through the sky, sometimes dipping down far enough in the sort of dark clouds that it can be seen. Word is that this appears to be some sort of flying citadel. Who's there?
I want one.
Just back here. Allied forces of Erebor. Beyond that, I think even now that Valignith is somewhat involved, you will understand that Ilversalt is actually being helped by Priya Pearl and Proscure as well in being resettled and rebuilt. They want there to be another city-state because they feel very exposed when there isn't one.
Look at this unexpected cooperation.
They want another city to be hit first. Ah.
And of course, the word still goes out. Anyone who wants wealth and magical power should join Sembia and prepare to go invade Cormir. Right. Then we have affairs in Westgate. You guys just tell me when you want to interrupt, right?
Yep.
Will do.
Sirik and Bane are really sort of slugging it out. The Seeker, meanwhile, has mostly stayed neutral, and the Rippers have just sort of profiteered or been a bit of a vulture faction. They've grown quite strong, and they could very much tip the balance. That said, Church of Bane has been falling compared to to their enemies. They are in need of aid, and the call will be sent out for such aid to come. Forces of order, great disarray is on the way. That said, there aren't that many more mercenaries left around here. Most of them have been integrated into other factions or sent to Sembia. Certainly, they don't seem happy to fight a host of centaurs in the city of Westgate. Doesn't seem to be fun for anyone. Yeah. So I suppose the next question here is just to see who wins, because the Cult of Sirik would love to just kill the Cult. I mean, it's really their plan. And they have the people who could do it. So Rep Banner host attacks. Baneites will try to defend and fail. And Sirik will go take their stuff. Taking their money. Great for them. Doing it again. Well, then the host finish them off. All right. All right. And no. No. Okay. There's a lot of fighting. The Church of Bane is pushed back. They lost their church and temple last time, and at this point, they're being beaten. Generally, they're strong elsewhere. They were strong here too, but it seems that this is not the Dragon Coast is not their place. They're losing it to the host. I think with this much attack and this much against them, they would rather see their forces like they will essentially move. They are leaving the city here. They're giving it up. They can't fight Sirik with what they have currently, and so they will retreat, basically dispersing the faction, and we'll put them over here by Banehold, because the people who do leave will be going to Darkhold to stay. They had very little left after last time. As a new power has risen, the cult of Sirik. Along with the Red Banner Host, a weird duo, but well,
The Westgate nobility is gonna. Oh no! Imagine what's going through their minds.
and it is not good. But you know what? At least they live in their fortified castles. There's several castles in Westgate, and they have walls and such too.
Yeah.
Make sure that the rich people don't have to deal with the gang wars.
That's right. Like, surely the centaurs won't find a way through walls.
Wait. Yeah. This city guard is, to the host as it currently stands, it is not really big.
I was gonna say they must be rather perplexed, just like, oh,
Centaur.
huh.
I mean, they're welcome. Their money is good, but they're a little rowdy. Everyone's liking. Well, the Syriac, though, they're not here to take over the city. Not really. They're here to burn and destroy everything. So, that's sort of what they do. More death, more undead, more bad things happening. It's one of those unreasonable factions that just want to see the world burn. The Rippers are gonna gather information because they have something they want to know. There was a long time ago, years at this point, a dragon defending this place down south, and they've been patient. We tried to probe at it, prod at it. They failed to some degree, but eventually time will be right, and they can take over that area. Where's my?
I can't imagine that the knowledge they want is something that good for the best of everybody if they get it.
Let's see here. So their question here is this place actively defended? And that is in regards to dragons, of course. They got a success, which means that they basically begin to prod. And I'll now ask you, how are you protecting the Temple of Agma? Do you consider that to be an obligation?
I think obligation's a strong word for Missouri leader theory, given the current curse of lethargy.
Yeah.
She would feel different if she were not like weighed down by this. At this point, like her obligation consists of survival. Once she breaks free of it, she may have a different attitude. But she knew that in moving further away from the temple, that things were just gonna be loose. And she warned the Ogmites when she moved.
Hmm.
So as far as she's concerned, if it happens, they weren't strong enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, Visigatrix might have liked to like take over and work with them, but she hasn't got any contact with them, and she's not, again, same thing. She's weak. She's not gonna fucking put her neck out.
Mm-hmm.
I think Malignif might be the one who has the biggest stake in this, actually, Sheep, if he wants to tome with the dragon.
Yeah, that's my fault too. I don't think he would straight up just help defend them, but I'm sure that he definitely has people watching the place because they have something that is very precious to him specifically. And if they notice that they're sort of looking around, being worried, maybe the Augmites will get an offer of, if you need help, someone
Here's my
who
price.
would. But it's gonna cost you a very specific book.
But they have to actually be looking around for help first, and they're not there.
Yeah, I mean, this whole situation might benefit in the long run if we would let them sweat a little bit.
Maybe I'll just leave my card with them just in case.
Just fly over. Oh no, is it one of the behemoths fly over and just like throw a bag of cards?
They call me the fixer, the problem solver, the troubleshooter, baby. No
That's what
questions
you
asked.
call like the giant slayer or whatever.
I have a fix your trouble or I am your trouble. Choose.
All right. Sure. That's good news for them. Begin to prepare their weird planning for such things. Sigamiwa is interested too, but he can bargain for whatever he needs. He's mostly just wants the city to quiet down already, and these Syriac people and such are not really helping that happen. All right, we look further south. We have Thunderhome, trying to see how this plays out. Let's see it plays out. Oh, very well. All right. Well, that's pretty telling. The trial is underway, and there is a large amount of support for this individual. He hasn't actually killed anyone. He hasn't sacrificed any goats. Well, allegedly. And until it can be proven that he's done something that would otherwise be legal, allegiance to a god that is not of the dwarven pantheon is not a crime, nor is it punishable. Though the stigma is probably going to make him have to, leave or something. It's going to be hard for him to stick around. Well, being known as that guy who worships Tiamat, which is
Right. There's a difference between being a crime and being shunned for the action.
yeah. It has opened the door to a different Thunderhome, a Thunderhome where some of the unfortunate traits that the dwarves like to say that they certainly don't show, maybe are more acceptable, maybe are less hidden. We shouldn't be ashamed for our glory, things like that. Then again, Tiamat is a goddess of strife, and having such people in society is generally not good for the overall cohesion. That said, Thunderhome manages to pick up and restore their sovereignty, as they manage to find a solution that pleases both sides enough to just to keep together without things escalating further. Gliding further down the neutral scale of things. All right.
How
General,
far they have come from hiring hobgoblins to now being like, yeah, I guess Tiamat isn't technically legal. Sort of
very slow.
blurred lines.
Yeah. Um, I mean, basically, it's because before they tried to they always argued that what they were doing were, for the good of everyone. Such
Now they're like, it's not
people are tired of
technically.
pretending.
Yeah.
Say, it's fine. We're allowed to be superior and kish.
Greedy.
General Victus and the Vagins will continue to smash caravans for sustenance. They are doing great, and they're not really enjoying this. They're sort of getting a little frustrated with this current situation, given that they don't like farming. They don't like hunting or even raiding for food. That seems like below them. They should be conquering nations and like guarding important things, and they're just most of this place is in ruins, and this kind of they're not really having a great time. And that takes us to the Gulfmere, where things are certainly happening. The Cold Nobanyan has been officially outlawed by Cindermoon. The druid not really showing any sort of respect or limits to her disgust and dislike for the cold. Much they have had to retreat, bringing them closer with Nathlan. Beyond that, though, an operation will be taking place. Cindermoon is a fanatic in every way against the spell plague. There is few methods that would be unacceptable, and though she's not here to attack Nathlan, when you find a sickness, you must remove it. In that regard, the Verdant Eclipse will have a request. They've offered their assistance before, and they have shown that they have a great reach, a great ability to get things done in faraway places. The Emerald Enclave, or at least part of it, intend to try to kidnap the heir to Nathlan, with the intention of doing something about this situation. In
This
that
is
regard,
the best.
the Verdant Eclipse will be, well, was contacted by some of the druids that say, well, we have to end this now. If this kid grows up, gets accepted, gets liked even, this could turn much worse.
Yeah. Nova Cree is on we'll say thin ice after what happened last time, and he is currently operating under the premise of if the dragon is upset again, I may have to find new employment if I even get to keep my life. One of the things the dragon has explicitly communicated through her own actions, and so that was charged to him, was aiding the Emerald Enclave with something. They're actually coming to the Grand Temple Malar for assistance, and they have its full weight and support behind them of the actions they seek to take. Nova Cree understands power very much as well, and he gets that Cinder Moon's really powerful too, and so anything that might bring her back here is pretty bad. So her focus is kept elsewhere. That's really good.
Yeah, I mean, word is he lives somewhere in Termish.
Yeah. And so, he's starting to think that maybe if she didn't have reasons to come back into this area, that would be really good. You want to kidnap this guy? Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah. Verdant Eclipse is fully behind supporting them with whatever they want to do.
All right, then. I mean, yeah, no, you should definitely roll this. Your dice pool is so infinitely better than theirs in this regard.
Yeah. So what would I? It doesn't sound like I'm directly assisting them. Am I like performing like an unconventional attack to like snatch the air?
Yeah, I think so. Essentially, it's similar to an assassination and such. This is a special thing. I can tell you because you're facing. This air is special, and so, but yeah, the attempt is certainly to go and snatch him. It's the
Okay.
kind of thing that you might want to be stealthy about, though.
Yeah. Okay.
Which they wouldn't be able to, most likely. They could try and get a success and such, but this is not what they do. They don't
Dress
infiltrate
up
them.
as Cult of Nobanyan followers.
Let's
and
say normally this unconventional warfare would be a might and influence, and I get a bonus when increasing my might against Nobanyan or Naflan. This sounds like it's very much against both Nobanyan and Naflan, so before I embark on this, I will increase my might.
They will work to increase your might.
Okay.
Totally makes sense. As they will draw upon their own people to, yes, give you a +1 temporary might. As they, a couple of like druids, right? Like turn into spiders and crawl the walls and so forth. They are very versatile.
Okay. I think I will spend a bit of cash with treasure and sovereignty. Nafland is unpopular just due to like its isolation stance, and so there's going to be folks and agents who wouldn't mind to take action against Nafland in this regard. I
Yeah.
think this will do. Treasure and sovereignty with an extra +2 dice. There's Nafland. Yeah, my mic gets increased.
You could say that, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Good God. All right. Now this entire roll will collapse. All right. So might is 5, influence is 4. I've got an extra 2 dice because of my sinister operatives. That's going to be 11 dice against Naflin to try and snatch this damn kid.
Your dice pool maximum is 10.
yeah.
Okay, my dice roll maximum is 10. That's right. 10 dice. All right.
All right. Let's
Pair of
see.
7s, pair of 6s, 5, and triple 4s.
They're obviously going to try to stop you. That is definite. Unconventional might and sovereignty. All right. A lot of 7s here. Which in a conventional defense mean that they defend.
Okay.
As width in defense succeeds. Nothing else.
All right.
That said, they don't get more bonuses. They have no idea what exactly happened. Simply that the child stated that he needed to move, which they then did. And as the druids arrive, they find the bedroom chamber to be empty, vacated.
All right. I'll reduce might by 1. Is that going to result in a loss of opportunity? Am I going to have to like find where the kid is again?
You can try again.
Okay. This time it will be with 10 dice again.
Yes. That's the benefit of having more. Oh boy.
Pair of 7s, a pair of 5s, and a pair of 1s.
Yeah, I mean they're not gonna take it laying down. They're still gonna try to stop you.
Pair of 9s and a pair of 7s.
So the 9s can take out the 7s, the 7 can take out the 5s. You still have 1-1. Now that would mean you could succeed, but you wouldn't be. They would know that you were involved.
Yeah, I think Novacree would be willing to let them know if he weren't just like if he weren't afraid that Mimizur was going to suplex him into the Sea of Fallen Stars. I think with that he's going to have to. I think we're just going to say that's a failure, but they still don't know.
Yeah. As agents and such begin to essentially, it's like a spy versus spy sort of thing. You know, they're moving, sneaking.
Yeah. Shape-shifting druids and were-ants come out of the woodwork to try and like pin down the location of this kid.
Find sphinxes and riddles and weird
God.
cats and whatnot.
Oh,
the druid, they almost did it, but then one of the druids in the rat shape got hunted by some sort of special lynx cat.
I just love the idea of like these agents being trapped in like riddle games with sphinxes.
To pass, you must answer these riddles 612. You're like, oh man, that's harsh. That's so many.
All right. It'll reduce me down to 9 dice. It's basically like over the course of the seasons, the Verdant Eclipse, the druids and other resources attempt to pin down this kid.
Yeah.
The one roll engine.
Will offer more aid from the Emerald Enclave, though they will have to do a sovereign check to do it, basically. Because if you begin to commit too much, they will begin to like. This is not a popular action with the sort of moderates. You know, a lot of the druids are more like, oh, let's see what happens and
all right,
be chill. So let's see if she can make them.
Come on, Cindermoon.
She cannot.
Yeah, if she is to do it, she will have to decrease sovereignty, which is not something she desires to do at this point.
Sure, it's okay. We'll take action this time with 9 dice. It's actually going down. No, my dice. Quadruple 10s and a pair of 6s.
Oh
my god.
This seems like it could be it, right? Let's see. I mean, technically.
Yeah. Okay, so it looks like we found the cheat sheet to crack all 612 riddles.
You must do it. And he's like, no, I'm not. I don't have to. And she's like, yeah, but you do. And he's like, no, I don't. And then he walked in. And the Sphinx was like, what? Really?
The answers are just time, clock, and share, and repeat forever.
Like a multiple choice thing with a repeating choice pattern.
Actually, reality is a social construct.
Clock, time, darkness.
No!
No!
You turn the riddle game on the Sphinx, and the Sphinx is like, wait a second. And then the Sphinx gets lost in the riddles.
Yeah. It's like,
what could it
be?
Yep.
What does reality even mean?
All right, that's my 3rd point dropped. Influence is now to negative as finally the heir of Nobanyan is snatched and done so beautifully.
Yes. Taken away to an undisclosed place by the Emerald Enclave. Word will spread out secretly that the child appears to be not just spell scarred, but something more. It would appear that this child is a chosen. Which means that it is a person imbued with part of the sort of divine power of a god. Generally something gods do when they're in extreme distress in an attempt to survive to a better age. This has many implications, and the Children of Malar who have this child are suddenly... There's a trepidation, because this is not usually something you mess with. On the other hand, it means that Nobanyan is not in a good place, and that could if they
Right.
could vanquish the lion, then
Yeah. If
Is
if
it
the chosen of Nobanyan's marking is a spell scar, then what does that say about Nobanyan?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes.
that is above Nova Cree's pay grade.
I think
And
that is how to justify them getting further with that, though. Here.
yeah, I think the only other action the Verdant Eclipse is going to take, unless otherwise approached or confronted, is policing. As Nova Cree is turned inward by the intense fear that the dragon's going to come out and eat him.
Mhm.
So that's might and sovereignty. That'll be 7 dice. Pair of fives for the policing. We'll subtract might by a 1, and that'll be the end for me.
All right. Does everyone else have something they want to do this year?
Yeah, I mean, I'm waiting to participate in a war, so
Yes, this year
I
Zambia is holding back the recovery.
would like to do some things.
All right.
Nothing exciting though, but you know, if I want to integrate the Cult of the Dragon, I do have to. I do have to do things, I believe. Influence them a bit, see that, you know, being their own entity isn't really working out. I think they're very much aware of that, and they would be better off just working for me. You know, all that banker money and whatnot they have. How about you just
Yeah.
give that to me?
They won't defend. But let's see if you can.
It's what role is that? Influence sovereignty?
Treasure and influence, I believe.
Treasure influence. Alright.
To first try to order the. Yeah, you succeed. All right, now you will need to do a treasure sovereignty, I believe, to basically to actively bring them in without them just sort of breaking apart again.
Treasure and sovereignty, you say?
Yes.
All these puny dice pools. Let's go. Double 7. Okay.
All right, yeah. You can do it if you want. They're not
Right.
going to. This is actually kind of what they hope would happen.
I mean, yeah.
All right, I can tell you their might is currently lower than yours, so no increase in that respect. Their treasure is higher, so you get a +1 to your treasure.
Okay, so I just put that to 3. I guess it's gonna be a new year before anything happens to the Dragonfly anyway.
Well, it
So
would be 3 minus 1.
3 and -1, yeah.
Your influence would go up by 1,
Ooh.
and your sovereignty would go down by 1.
Yeah.
damn, that's a lot.
And they will disappear because they're now the dragon thing.
Who would have seen that coming, that the highest stat of Veliknov's company is influence?
Well, it turns out you have a lot of nobles and whatnot. You also just increased it yourself.
Yeah.
He's good at learning things and
Yeah.
reaching people because he lives in like a transit station and a meeting hall.
Yeah.
I didn't think the Cult of the Dragon, after everything they've been through, still had that much. So
Yep.
congratulations.
So
that
when you add them together with the same, you can grade by 1.
Oh, okay.
Couldn't do it if you conquered them, but
I forgot about that element. I thought they always had to be higher than you. Nice.
not when you fuse together. So it's a positive increase, which is nice. You can just add. So yeah, you have gained strength as the Call of the Dragon has joined.
Yeah.
Now you've called the Dragon people, which is fun, and we can also actually make you.
Yeah, medium-sized token, but the sovereignty now being 2, and there's a lot of disarray and grumbling.
Some people are like, man, these people are crazy. The guy next to me, he just refuses to eat and only wishes to give his life to the dragons, and it's just, it's a little much, you know.
Where is the meritocracy here?
It's like take it down a notch, you know? Like, jeez, man.
The guy's like, why do we serve such people with such little piety? The dragon will rule all. It's you know, they'll need to be shown that they can do something.
Yeah. We will have a think on how to accomplish that.
Mhm.
There's time, after all.
Yeah. And two basically means that there's frequent like arguments and infighting and such going on. Well, one would be they're sort of actively plotting to overthrow you or split up or whatever. 0, they have done so. All right, good. Anything else?
So you're saying there's no war right now?
Oh, there is. They have conquered
Yeah.
all the space here, and
Like,
now they're fortifying it, preparing
like
for the invasion across the swamps into Comir.
the Shadowvar people are telling you they're not attacking this here. They're moving all their other pieces. But obviously they cannot stop you if you want to do something.
No.
You would just be, if you would directly attack them, taking the full front of Cormir in
Yeah,
defense.
I can't, right? But at the same time, it's like, ugh, this
Well,
sucks.
well, you could work towards the other projects you want to do,
Yeah.
such as the Orbis Dwarves.
Yeah. I would like to try and locate the Orb of Storms.
All right, so it's like an espionage.
Yeah.
Learning secrets. It sounds like a secret.
Influence and treasure. Comir will defend.
Yeah, you think so?
Yes, they don't want you to.
Oh, that's okay.
And they defend with might and treasure.
Oof. Oof.
Looks like your 8s. They can't take those out. Yeah, no, they can't take out your 8s. So
Bitch. I mean,
in defense, you can only reduce dice combinations that are lower than your own. So yeah, they can't stop you. You will learn that the Oberstorms have been brought back to the Harbor Master in Suzail, Marsember,
okay.
where it is utilized to protect the port should anything happen. At the moment, they have extra watch over it. It's stolen once. They're not okay with it.
Okay. Is there a way that I could? I guess that would be like a role to continued spying. Is that a thing? Like you can do with policing?
In what do you hope to accomplish with it?
I guess I just want to know when they're moving their guards, but I mean that sounds like another role another year.
No, I mean, if you just want to like moving the guards and such is already inside of your role.
Oh, okay.
You know where it is. You've scoped out the place. It's not easy, but I suppose Cormier is elsewise engaged at the moment.
And that's the thing, right? Like I think now the Mark know that it's like okay, well, I mean things are not going to get less serious in the war here. Like seems like there could be an opportunity later on
To do something about it.
yeah, like we have ships.
Yeah.
There'll be a ascending back to Westgate.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
The only thing that your lieutenant and like agents of the Mark would have to worry about is if anyone else might attempt to snatch the Orbis Storms too. And
Oh,
if by waiting you may end up losing the opportunity.
that is true.
Because if fucking Shadowvar people fucking teleport,
Yeah, but they already have all the fucking magic shit.
right? How do you think they have all of the magic shit?
That's true. God, but look at that roll, Grimmith. Look at it.
I'm not,
10 dice. Holy
I'm
mother.
not. Look, speaking as someone who's just rolled 10 times,
Yeah, you did not
I'm-
roll very well, man.
I fully and completely understand. It's merely like trying to put you like in the mindset of what this lieutenant who leads your faction would do. Like you've portrayed them as a bunch of violent folks who don't sit around. They see an opportunity and they say, "Fuck it."
Yeah, I think they do also because these guys are like, yes, oh, this year let's just reinforce this area. And it's like, what, the Mark? They're not gonna fucking build walls or whatever? Like, yeah.
Supply lines?
No, you steal the supplies from the enemy. These people are stupid.
And I mean, if
Yeah.
there's any way that they're gonna like prove like how awesome they are to, the Shadowvar, it's gonna be like, yeah, while we were waiting around in your off time, we just took their overstorms. No big deal.
Time to roll the 4 10s, right?
Yeah, well, last time I did that when I collected like one treasure or something stupid.
I think this is a thing that at this point would have a minimum difficulty, right? Goler
Okay.
would actively try to hinder you, and there would be a minimum difficulty. And I think this is a fairly difficult thing. So say the minimum difficulty of 5. Any successes less than 5 simply won't work.
Okay. Is there a way that I could try and pay off the Black Network
To do
like the Captain Council did?
to get it?
Yeah.
Potentially, yeah.
Like how much? Like I don't know if that's in-game money or is that some kind of faction thing or
What would the price of the Black Network be? Is what you try to discover.
yeah.
In which case, it would probably end up being like securing their control over Westgate.
That seems likely.
Yeah. I mean, I'm only in one war, man. Ah, fuck it. They're not sitting around. I gotta try. Okay. What am I rolling?
Well, to do it, I mean that seems to be more I think like grand theft is probably espionage as well. I think an argument could be made for unconventional warfare, but I think espionage is like you're stealing an item. You're not
Yeah.
blowing up a house or something.
You might want to work to try and increase your influence or treasure before you do that then.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that you can roll the 4 10s on that.
Yeah. All right. Mm, looking at what I could. What could I reduce to do that? Like,
Oh, here, here's actually something like didn't don't like what assets do you have? Out of curiosity.
I have the hags. They'll give
Right,
me
the
information.
hags and then your sea creatures.
Yeah, they're not. I
Yeah.
mean, unless I go there by sea, I
Right,
suppose.
right. It was just like you were working on trying to find like the Cloud Giants infiltrators, but never actually did anything more with them, right?
Well, no, yeah, I found them, and they were like, "Yeah, we have pretty good NAFA. We are all the fucking nobles now." And I was like, "Oh, I don't know how I can beat being nobles in Nafland, honestly."
Right, right.
It's like you want a mud pot in the
Yeah,
eel fort?
I forgot whether you did anything more with them or not. All
Yeah,
right.
no, I don't actually have anything for it. See, that's the thing. I'm looking at the other ones, and I'm like, how the fuck do you increase? I guess I could use might and territory to squeeze out some money.
You'd use sovereignty might to
Oh,
raid.
yeah, I'll do that.
Piracy.
Yeah, I mean, we have experience in it.
There's much less competition. Though not so many merchants, given the war.
Wait, are you saying it would be on water?
The raiding, probably, right?
Well, I'm not using. Oh, I am using might. So then I could get my aquatic beasts. My
No,
beasts.
would be for
Oh,
attack. They don't do well, they don't help you when you raise other.
marina beasts. That's fair.
They're not that versatile.
No, no.
You try, there's just no ships.
There's
Like
no fucking ships.
between them that
Only
actually.
the Symbian ones, and I can't take those.
Yeah, you don't wanna do that.
Oh, you see like a fat Symbian ship, and you're like,
Money like falling over the edge because there's
oh
so much
yeah,
time in it.
they're so
Yeah.
rich.
The lieutenant's like gritting his teeth, like son of a bitch. I
Looks at his
boxed
own
myself in.
looks at his own Symbian flag on his boat.
I would like to say that they're like, oh, we have Symbian flags for them, and and the market like, ah, we got it covered already.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we got some of those. Oh, they have a purple outline now. Ah, sure. What the fuck? I'll. God. Nah, fuck it. I'm gonna try again. I'm gonna try and raise again.
Sure.
My guys are not gonna just fucking sit here and wait.
There you go.
They're not.
You found the money after all. Some of the exported wealth that the Church of Bane was disseminating back out and as they fled Westgate.
It's the one thing they ran away with. Kobe's wants some money.
The lieutenant's like, well, guess you guys don't need that anymore.
Yeah, I mean they do.
We did our part.
Oh, old friends. Let's you pay for that fleet.
Well, I suppose 7 dice it is.
Lucky
Yeah,
number, right?
Succeed.
Or not. Well, 3 threes.
Well,
Well, that's
three.
not enough.
Yeah, certainly it's not high enough, so they don't even need to defend. As you
Oof.
try, there's just no opening. Like they have, like this is the capital of Cormier. It is not easy to send marked people in there to steal something during a war, especially not something that is a powerful sort of war usable artifact.
And already got stolen once.
Yeah,
You see an opportunity.
that's fair. Let's see.
And there's no retaliation against you because obviously people are going to try and steal this.
Well, you are literally at war, so it's
Yeah.
like it's not like the
Let's see.
dragon.
You
Yeah.
can come and get me here in the fucking
Yeah.
enemy camp
Yeah.
if you want. Do it.
You better watch out. Those war wizards might just hang in.
They do teleportation strike forces.
That's how they got the orb back.
Put them
Yeah,
in lightning and teleport in, nuke everything with fireballs.
We're sick of tricks. It's just like relaxing, like calmly, like well, one day and what the fuck? Why are you here?
Oh yes, which is another inquiry, Manakai. How would I go about basically making sure that I guess rumors in Westgate or wherever is that there's no trace of a cicatrix's actual lair?
How would you go about like making sure that people don't
Just
know?
yeah, influencing.
I mean, if someone tries to find out, you would roll to defend.
Okay.
You don't need to sort of preempt that. Surely no one has been looking for your house. Typically.
Good.
The
Well, I'm
dragons
just
maybe
concerned
want
about the Black
to
Dragon.
know. Well, yeah, but they don't turn into people, so it's hard for them to, to do anything about it. Really,
Okay, so they still think I'm in Westgate.
that seems to be it. Yeah.
Bless the lords. Yeah, there are a lot of drows they can try and kill. that's not me. Okay, well, I mean, cross that off my list.
It'd be a shame if they caught a black dragon that did live in Westgate and forced him to tell them his secrets.
Yeah. Well, they know he's not. He's not Citrix. I was actually thinking of trying to make them think that.
Well, what I'm saying is that he would know how to reach out and contact Cicatrix.
It's true.
Now the question is she paranoid enough to think that Zethusdin is a threat to her security?
Has to assassinate him. It's the only way.
No, I don't think so.
Yes.
Not yet. No. You know,
Sheep's
maybe
like,
if
why do I
I
even
get,
bother helping dragons?
like
Yeah.
beaten up to be alarmed. Like, I don't know if he like starts being completely enormously rich. It's like, oh, kiss my ring. Oh well,
Just
okay.
kidding.
Hmm.
No, I've also given up being the Black Dread, just as you.
Yeah, ha ha ha.
All right,
I
sounds
am
like we're done with the year then.
executed for having the marked go on this side of the fucking sea. Clearly, I'm trying to invade Cornwall.
Then we can move along with the year
Yes.
to the next year.
Oh, well, then I'm gonna try one time more.
Sure.
I was gonna see and wait if Cormier was gonna do anything.
They are recovering and rebuilding and readying
Okay.
themselves for.
Well, the marked or nothing if not the. Ooh,
Ooh,
my.
that's good.
Oh.
Good luck.
Hmm.
Damn. Not good
Pretty
enough.
good.
one of them picks up the orb and it fucking evaporates him.
Yeah.
Raw
Well.
orb.
Yeah. Distracted by greed, not having sufficient willpower.
Did it.
Not a lot of them might actually have a lot of magical
The
skills.
walrus burst in the door. Get on the ground.
Yeah. And not a lot of wizards.
No.
A bard's black tentacles come out of everywhere.
All right, that's it. I ain't got no more resources to spend.
All right. Yeah. Then the next one. And yeah, these other are hurried because, well, I'll move along. This year, though, there's gonna be a visit at the Dragon Fane.
How unusual.
How very unusual. See, it makes sense you have all that influence from just people showing up and knowing about you.
Your highest stat now being influenced deeply abuses me.
It does.
Didn't used to be.
It used to be my lowest stat.
As religiously told that a pair of black dragons have arrived
All
and
right.
request to speak to him.
Oh. Great.
Sure, he'll go speak to him. He can pretend to be all right for a talk.
How does he feel about receiving like other dragon visitors in his condition?
That's the entire point of the Dragon Fane. It's a shame that not more of them come here to, pay tribute and have a talk. This is exactly right so far, anyways.
All right, so he's entirely welcoming and open to it, even while afflicted by the curse. Okay.
I mean, they wouldn't dare attack him here. They have no reason to either.
One of the dragons, this one, is pretty much just stone-faced the whole time. Seems to not be willing to talk or do much of anything. Seems like something weird is wrong with him, whatever it could be. The other one,
roll an insight, perhaps, to
Sure,
see
yeah.
what's up there. 36.
You're pretty sure that he is sort of mentally broken somewhat. It's quite clear he has been beaten up or put somewhere, or well, from the smell of it, actually, you would believe that he has put his lair in a place that has some sort of gases or something drifting up from the Underdark that has rather addled his mind. One of the effects of there being so many black dragons is that some of them have to lair in places that are really not that great. And he seems to be one of those that have early in life found a bad place to lair without knowing better, and then now has suffered the effects. It's mostly brawn,
Sure.
which is rare for a black dragon. The other one seems annoyed to be here, and generally doesn't sort of it has long lingering looks back to the shadowy sky above Cormia, as if he feels like he's missing out on something. Can't wait to go back. Will bow his head and say, I am Valnarix. This is Corsaval. We come from the mighty Sevrias, seeking information.
What is it you seek exactly?
We would have a looking back to Corsaval, it says, a meeting with our fellow kin, Versicatrix. It is known that they have flown over these parts and that they have visited here before. We seek their lair, perhaps, or a place where such we could meet them.
I can contact her and relay the message that she is being looked for, but I see no reason to just give that sort of information away.
What would it cost you?
It's not about price, it's about principle. You come here to this place, and I for a brief moment had the hope that you recognized its significance, but instead you are merely here because, well, you saw the cicatrix, who does recognize the importance of this place. As of right now, I see no reason to entertain even the thought of any trade for information, considering that the party you're trying to find actually respects this place and does not want to be found.
Yeah, the dragon seems still annoyed. Says, the mighty Severias does not take no for an answer. She sort of looks at this. Says, I have no issue with this place, but it is out of my homeland. I have not paid attention to it. I hope I do not cause offense, but I would suggest you simply give us what we are here for, so that we can all move on.
What is the reason this mighty Severius is looking for the cicatrix?
He makes sure our line is strong and healthy, that those who claim to to seek the title of the Black Dread are worthy of it. He will we will bring the cicatrix, who will then be judged by him. Then, if found worthy, she will be allowed to live, and in return will thank Severius for his assessment with a significant treasure.
I don't think a test like that will be necessary in this place. You can take it on my authority that the cicatrix is, in fact, very strong.
Severius will not like to hear that. Many speak of the things accomplished by Versicatrix. Disappeared many years ago, did she? She should be big now, strong, and yet has remained hidden. She will need to be seen, need to be assessed.
I'm sure she's merely waiting for the right moment to appear.
And yet it is my duty to find. Let's see, he sort of twists uncomfortably. Clearly doesn't want to be here.
If it is your duty to find those who Severius wants to see, has it been your turn yet? Has he seen you and judged you worthy?
This is part of my judgment.
It is a strange judgment that first requires one to become an errand boy.
Said Philipeth, with some spite in his eyes.
What gives this Severius the authority to make these decisions?
Power, size, and age.
Why then does he himself not take the title of the Black Dread?
He does not yet control Cormyr. The word is that he does not want the title, merely to be someone supporting.
So he wants all the benefits of being able to choose whatever Black Dread is most easily controlled, because of course being a ruler, a figurehead like that would make oneself a target without him actually taking any risks whatsoever. I, of course, don't know your line or him very well, but it appears to me that the system isn't exactly working as... I assume his intent is not to actually find a good Black Dread, but an easy one.
Sort of looks to Belikneth. Says, Perhaps. I have no doubt if the throne was there for him to take, he would. Anyone would. That is not the question. The question is whether or not I will get killed for failure, or whether I will try to run, should I be unable to find Vercingetorix.
If you do need a place to stay, the Dragonfane might have some environment that suits you for a while.
Severius would not take well to that. He rarely gets involved himself. But betraying him in such a way, that is one way to get him. You could not win. I could not win.
How many would it take, do you think, to win against him?
Looks Velikneth, and then shakes his head slightly and says, any who would stand with me against him would simply, at an opportune moment, betray me to gain his favor. In all honesty, I can say that I might do the same to them if I got the chance.
Well, I suppose I appear
I
to
want
have
to
just
blame
found
Christ.
the reason why you are, in fact, so scared of him. Because you do not consider the opportunities to perhaps actually successfully oppose him to be options at all. But
Our
this
kind do not
is...
work together. Such a thing would be absurd. How could you ever trust another? Sort of shut up for a moment. That said, we are simply looking for seconds. You would bring a message, yes.
I can agree to relay a message.
We can stay here for a time, if it be helpful. Perhaps Vercingetorix will visit, and we can relay the message and provide an escort.
I suppose I can mention to her that you are here. If she wants to talk, she will come.
Good. We will take a little time to stay here, then perhaps look elsewhere. Perhaps some people here have heard something.
You may, of course, ask around, although I do warn you that if you disrespect this place more than you already have, I might get upset about it. I would like to avoid that.
Belnarix will nod to that. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want Velignith to be upset. He actually rather wants Velignith to be happy, he supposes, and whatever that means. He knows Velignith is simply looking for a way to use him for his own ends, and so.
Did they bring gifts to Tiamat?
No, they haven't brought anything. It's most likely that they don't have access to their hoards at the moment.
Oh, that's true.
Well, they're free to say, and Velignith will, send a message to Vercingetorix the usual way.
The Call of the Dragon is overjoyed.
They're getting like Black Dragon signed autographs.
Belnarix is uncomfortable with this place and this whole situation.
Don't forget that the sending stones are an option between you two, since we got the third one in.
Yeah, I mean that as the usual way.
Oh yeah.
But it's not usual between you two. Ah!
I guess it's not. That's true.
I assume.
So Velignith will, of course, make it clear to his underlings that they are not to just surrender any information. Like, if Velignith doesn't tell them, then if they go behind Velignith's back after he has not answered something, then he would get upset, and nobody wants that.
Sure. How would the talk between Versicatrix and Vedictus go?
Yeah, I think through the sending stones. I don't know how the receptor go on Vesicrix's side looks.
It's the Cicatrix who has it, and she sounds very grumpy. Not because this Vedignus is basically calling her, but because she's just really grumpy.
You, for the rest of us, I want you to visualize Novacree on top of his amazing tower, like listening in, but just remaining silent the entire time.
Yeah. Yes, Vedignus. Tell me
Vesicrix.
good news.
I will not attempt to decide whether this is good news or not, though I suspect it's not. There are two of your black kin here who are looking for your lair because there's a dragon called Severius who
Severus, yes.
wishes to
I
make
saw
your
that.
acquaintance.
Told you about it. Yes, he drives a pyramid scheme in the League of the Dragons. No matter what, you will be giving him his treasure for him either to not kill you or, well, he kills you and he gets your treasure. I am currently stalling for time. I do plan on giving him treasure, but, well, he does not want small treasure. I need to work towards actually getting something that will get him off my back.
Have you considered telling him that you are in fact looking to get him the treasure he seeks?
Yes, but I am not going, and if I show my face to these people, they will drag me there. And, well, I feel bad about sending my troops into a swamp full of black dragons. Perhaps you could carry this message over to those two dragons. Or find me a place where I can have one of the marked leave a message for them, as such. I will not meet them. Not in this state. It is undignified.
Yes, it is not ideal. You could simply send a messenger to the Dragonfane to talk to them for you. I'm not entirely sure how I can help you in this case.
Yes, well, I suppose I will have someone from Westgate move to them. I can't send someone. It is too risky. I do not want them to find out my whereabouts. I don't enjoy uninvited guests. Well, I don't enjoy any guests, but I especially don't like uninvited guests.
So I expect you won't be showing up then.
No, I will send a messenger. If you think it will make them go back.
I suspect it might. I'll see what I can do to push things in your favor regardless.
Thank you. I did not expect to be dragged back to the Lake of Dragon or Swamp of Dragons policies. Feels quite absurd with everything else that we have to deal with, honestly. It's not that I don't wish to deal with them, and him for the matter, but it is not the time.
Yes, I understand. Of course, the right way to deal with this would be to show him that it is a bad idea to do as he does, exploiting his fellow kin, but I suppose that's just how it is currently, and
Yes, well,
perhaps in the future we can do something about it.
yes, I would very much like to. But for now, I will give him try to acquire a gift that will suit his tastes. Well, buy myself some time. Like all our kind, he is arrogant. Well, I should say, especially my kind. Of course not I. Well, I suppose I will have to send a messenger to Westgate. And for him to acquire back. Most of my troops are currently out, aiding the Shadow War in the Cormyrian War.
And I suppose that will be the actionable result then. What will the messenger inform the dragons when he gets there?
He will inform them that the Cicatrix is currently trying to gather the means to give Severus a mighty gift that is worthy of, perhaps worthy of her, I don't know, what is it, not showing up to his dumb meeting. She's not gonna say that, but
Absence.
worthy of her absence.
Insult.
Of course, it is not such a small task, but and she will also try and spin it to sort of indicate that one of the reasons the marked are in, the area is to try and work towards this goal of obtaining something valuable.
Mm-hmm. The dragons don't seem particularly to know what the marked is, but they will relay whatever is said.
Well, Severus does.
Seemingly happy to just get out of here.
Wait, didn't Severus know the mark?
It's possible. Yeah.
Okay, well then don't say the mark. Just say the troops will her people.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I don't want to give them any free information.
Sure, then they will.
While those two are on the dragon thing, though, Valiant will take the opportunity to at least, explain a bit why he does what he does, to consider that a temporary shift in priorities among dragonkind to resolve some incorrect hierarchies would be beneficial for everyone, and then everything can go back to normal. But this temporary shift is something that they should really consider, to put their differences behind each other, to maybe make the position of the Black Dread available before you squabble about who gets it and such.
I love Malignus' mission statement being conveyed to other dragons. This is always a good time.
Do I have a moment to tell you about our Lord and Savior Tiamat and the Dragon Fate of we are a community, close knit sort of family, really. About just.
Well, Nerix will listen. It's clear that the dragon doesn't really want to be here. It's very uncomfortable with its own current sort of predicament of being sent around, bringing messages and such, while his stuff is being held by a bigger dragon. It's not Not a great place to be. Not super unusual though for a dragon of his age in that region. As his one essentially is that well, anyone who's capable of taking the crown of the Black Dead should have an easy time dealing with the humans. They're mortals after all. Each one of us could crush 100 easily.
And yet you've said that Severus would take the title of the Black Dread if it were possible for him, and yet he has not. Which either suggests that the humans are more formidable than you suggest, or that Severus himself is not as formidable as he suggests.
Sort of narrows his eyes at Veliktan and says, "Why are you saying these things? Sounds almost like you want me to act against him."
Ha! It's because Vindictive wants to be the Black Dread.
I'm saying these things because of the indignity that mortals, as you correctly say, are in fact as influential and powerful as they are. In a world that would be more appropriate, well, there would already be a Black Dread, and the conflict would be about who gets to be the next Black Dread, rather than who gets to be the Black Dread if and only if the humans currently squatting on that title are dealt with. I don't mind Severus being as powerful and influential as he is. I mind Cormyr, and as perhaps complicated as that might sound, Severus might be the reason why Cormyr is still as influential as it is. Imagine if all your many kin would simply assault Cormyr. They wouldn't stand a chance, even if they are formidable, unfortunately. But you never will, because you squabble and you're encouraged to squabble.
I would delight in such a fight. Yet I think, and he lowers his voice slightly and says, as many of my kin, I would not be in front. Severus would, but he knows as well as I do that if I was behind him and he was wounded, I would strike him down as quickly as anything, and then claim his hoard as my own. Who knows? Maybe I could take his place. It simply makes sense. I wouldn't expect anyone else to be behind me. They would take the chance to kill me to get me out of their way. I am strong, but I hide it so that they won't expect so much of me. So, age is on my side. I grow more powerful. Time goes on.
I understand. I suppose the issue is that you would need someone to lead the charge, and that someone could not be one of your kin. And that someone also needs to be someone who has no interest, no actual, genuine interest in being the Black Dread.
He nods slowly. This is very hypothetical at this point. So I suppose, yes. If someone could survive whatever strikes from behind he would suffer while fighting ahead, then I suppose it would be possible to wield such influence.
Of course, there are other ways to fight Cormyr, instead of just directly. If you, for example, hypothetically, someone like you would spend less time flying around looking for the cicatrix, and more time trying to influence the other mortals to act against Cormyr, why, that would be time much better spent.
He nods. Yes, though, such a thing would. Severius is taking this time to expand his influence over other dragons further away, and Cormyr does not have the usual attempts to kill him. They are busy elsewhere, and so he sends me all the way here to try to wrangle you all into, well, our affairs.
Well, either way, I suppose I wish all of you good luck in your conflict with Cormier, and I do hope that you realize that there are ways that all of you could benefit that you simply aren't considering right now.
He is genuinely trying to understand. It is just very hard for him. He's really coming from a very different place compared to what Velignith is sort of thinking of. It seems cooperation is difficult, given that they all generally see each other as potential worst enemies. It's quite clearly he expects that if he was weakened enough, Corsival would just kill him and then leave and go home and say that he failed. Who knows? Maybe that's even how one of these two might show themselves to be worthy.
He also has no real freedom to make choices since his horde is being held hostage by a more powerful dragon.
Well, yeah, he has nothing.
Yeah.
Been like this his whole life.
He has himself.
So Velignus trying to get him to think and branch out his thoughts, and he is incapable of doing so right now. He doesn't have the freedom to make choices.
Velignus just intends to plant the seeds. You know, in 10 years, in 100 years, perhaps they start to make sense, and perhaps he then has an opportunity to act on them. But right now, he's, of course, just talking.
I will nod and say, I will inform. We are going to go to Sephrius and tell him what Cicatrix relayed. And, well, it might delay him somewhat, though I think we might show up again should no magnificent treasure appear within several years. He is patient, but never does he accept people waving him on, not showing him fear. If you do not fear him, then you must be a rival, and then you must be destroyed. After all, we are allowed to be strong as long as we're not stronger than him.
I can tell you that I personally have no interest in any of your affairs north of the Lake of Dragons, other than perhaps assisting in the destruction of Cormier.
Yeah. Just nods. He doesn't even protest that he neither doesn't want the titles.
Yes, he doesn't care about it either.
He's it's par for the course, and maybe Velignith even he's a red dragon. He couldn't possibly understand the significance. He's got a bunch of other stuff, and he clearly is blessed with Tiamat. So Eric's does like it's quite clear to Velignith. These two think of Velignith probably as older than he is when they look at him.
They better do.
And show him a bit of respect that maybe isn't really, it is not something that he is used to, perhaps, from other dragons. As they feel themselves being very young, because they're used to being around much older dragons, so they feel younger than they are, perhaps. Being somewhat stunted in their ability to have responsibility. Monarchs will sort of just nod and say, it was not unpleasant. Then he'll fly back eagerly, going back to the
I was gonna say liar.
Well, it could be worse.
Alright. But then we'll go back to sleep.
Yes.
I think she should lie in her lair and scheme. These stupid black dragons. Oh, one day it will be their skull under her foot while she's sleeping.
Fooled.
And then she cradles her favorite, skull she likes to stab. She has to get new ones every now and then, but there's no shortage. So
Right. Again, just tell me if there's some action you want to take, because we'll focus on just just here down in Nathlan, as the cult of the Banyan will enter the woods against allowance and attempt to gather information as to, or I suppose that would be espionage, to find secrets as to where is the child.
They will be directly opposed, should they ever succeed, by the Verdant Eclipse.
We'll try. Nathlan itself too sent people to attack this. They want to find, like, this is not okay. Double twos.
Does that just bounce off my policing?
Yep.
Malachi, quick question. How... Oh, you're still rolling, sorry.
I'm still rolling. They're going to try for a bit. All right, and then I'll do that. Raise, and then again. All right.
Okay. Looks like I will have to attempt some direct opposition then.
Double tens.
Influence and territory is what opposes this. All right. This is at the start of the year. That's just 6 dice. All right. Nope, they do it.
No, they learn that the child has been taken by the Enclave, which is, I mean, honestly, that's a pretty damning thing to do, and they're very much not okay with it. That said, it took quite a lot to find it. They will demand the return of this child unharmed, or there will be dire consequences. This is not. They're very much. Yeah. They're very angry. Was there a question, Sheep?
Yeah, something unrelated though.
Yeah, sure.
My question would be, how long would the construction of Elversult still take?
Do you want to try speeding up? Are you in a hurry with it?
A little bit. Also seems like a nice accomplishment to raise some sovereignty over.
Yeah, all right. Sure. Well, it's at the moment it is a ruined city. There's basically tents and stuff around, right? People are working to build things, but with the war going on and such, it has quite stalled a bit. Like, it's not a. Oh, there's maybe refugees will come soon. You know, that's always a great chance for new people to move in. But yeah, you could do a I figure we could you could roll to try to improve it if you wish.
Sure. What do I roll for that?
Be a treasure and sovereignty, I think.
Right, not amazing. Don't have that much money, and we're quite upset with each other. Double 2.
Yeah, that's not enough to push it further. I put a minimum difficulty of 4.
Okay. Well, we tried.
Yeah. It'll decrease by 1 probably every year. Just due to it naturally slowly being built up.
Perhaps piggybacking on that action though. I would like to influence Thunderhome a bit more to once again highlight.
What? You lied. You just said you were interested in seeing how things played out with it.
Yeah, I wanted to see how it plays out with the trial, and the trial is over.
You can't fucking stop.
What? I don't understand where you're coming from, Griff.
It's always just the scheming red dragon meddling in the affairs of dwarves.
I explicitly said I want to see how the trial turns out, and I don't want to interfere in that. And that is.
And you don't want to be the Black Dread, I understand.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I just want to make sure that everyone in Thunderdome realizes that, Philatenov is known for destroying things, but right now he's trying to rebuild a city.
So some PR.
PR, exactly.
Sure, yeah.
Like, this is how things could be if you just cooperate.
They already like you. I'm speaking from genuineness here. I don't understand what you're trying to accomplish.
Make sure they continue liking me. I basically want to butter them up to maybe make a future annexation a bit easier, which
All right.
would be
I mean,
my
they're not
goal.
there yet, but yeah, try. I don't see a reason you shouldn't be able to be like, yeah, I'm building a town, guys.
Yeah.
I'm actively trying to do it.
That would be
It's not
influence
just
plus
treasure.
treasure. Always treasure. Everyone wants money. Nope. Okay. Part of the
The
cost.
pamphlets and such don't really get looked at too much.
All right. Sure.
At least not enough to further improve their opinion.
That's fine.
All right. The Emerald Enclave would like to act in regards to Nathlan's demands, but they're not gonna give it back. Not before they have done something to fix it. As it happens, Cindermoon has at the capture of this kid been returning, and believes she has a ritual that would do something good here to try to remove this Feldflagon. What is wrong with this? The ritual, however, is not from a source many might expect. It seems that, just in general, it is something connected to the Shadow Weave, a magical substitute made by
Oh.
to
Oh.
replace the actual weave. Thus, there's some consternation as to this being a good idea. It seems, maybe not sort of a great situation. That said, um, you know,
Wait,
some
he's connected to the Shadow Wave?
No, Airy.
Oh, sorry.
Cindermoon's ritual seems to be.
Oh.
I mean, it doesn't really leave the druids of the forest, so it's mostly in Missouri that would actually be informed of this. I don't know. Maybe Nova Creek gets excited at the idea of more magical power,
Yeah.
but no.
All right. Yeah. Nova Cree is excited. Like, why the fuck not? Yeah.
That seems great.
The dragon's not really in a position to advise Cindermoon one way or the other on this. She's not looking to get personally involved in things right now on account of the curse of lethargy.
Cinnamon hasn't been taking a lot of personal advice from anyone.
Yeah. There's that as well. Like you let the person who's unhinged do their unhinged things.
Yeah, there is argument in the Emerald Enclave, enough that I'm actually going to decrease their sovereignty by one, because there's some of the moderates that are not sort of this is way too far for what they're generally feeling comfortable with.
Just gonna say that's like short stuff.
Could,
Ah.
could the greater deity of nature truly want this? Is this the best course of action?
Yeah, as Cindermoon performs her ritual, the shade, there's no real other people around her except for her sort of inner circle of fellow fanatical druids. And I'll basically narrate this more than roll it because what happens is quite spectacular. The aftermath of the ritual is that the child is back in Nathlan. And that apart, a small grove deep in the forest here has burnt down and burned with a fire that has scarred the land. Because drawn from it was more than just a cinder, just a bit of the blue power. Drawn from it is an entity that is beginning to roam the Gulfmere. The ritual did not work exactly as advertised, because there was an intervention, a being that could simply not allow this child to come to harm. So I'll be putting this down here as a thing that now exists. They say, those who have seen it, and it is elusive, that it appears a massive lion made of blue flame, pure blue flame, and that all things it touches burn. It stalks and seeks those that trespass upon this place, and when it finds them, it is a terrible foe. Certainly of epic proportions.
I guess Cinder Moon might stay in the region a bit longer.
Yes, allegedly, she is wounded for the time being. I'm just putting it here because the thing happened in the south, but really, it could be anywhere in these regions. As the forest begins to, safe to say, get weird. As a theological war is beginning. This is damning evidence that something is wrong with this deity. When an avatar made of blue flame manifests, that is not a subtle or really, there's no argument to be made that Nobanyan has succumbed to the spell plague.
Damn.
To the north,
Well, that's much worse than being connected to the Shadow Reef. Fuck. Oof.
to the
So
north.
wait,
Hmm?
sorry, is the child then, was this driven out of it, or are they still under the influence of the blue flame thing?
Exactly what happened isn't really
We don't know.
like
Yeah.
you simply don't know exactly what happened there. As in to the north, the this year is the year of the actual Symbian full invasion of Cormyrian. Before the war happened, sort of fighting back Cormyr's influence on land that has traditionally been Symbian. Now it is the other way. So you will be rolling some dice. Now I could have done this ahead of time, but honestly, one of you is directly involved, so it seems relevant.
Yes.
Because Sembia will do a mustering of people, gathering additional forces, and then will launch its invasion. Full power. Cormyr
Oof.
will try to resist that invasion, also with their full power.
Yeah.
Yes,
They should have counterattacked.
Oh, yes, should have. As the Symbians attack, Cormyr meets with greater force. The defenses are hit, but not broken. Well, be able to muster some more. They need this, and this is a rare opportunity to gain, to maybe even break their rival. They attack. Cormyr will try to defend, and that is a failure. Sembia strikes with the intention to hurt Cormyr's military, hoping to break them down. They're beginning to succeed, thus Cormyr will muster some people, which they will succeed at. And sure. Time to continue, really. We have a successful defense. And I'll do that a little faster, maybe. Here, just attack and defense. That is a successful attack. As
That's a lot of fucking dice.
yes, things are striking out of control here. As the different forces are really just hitting. The symbionts attacking with no real regard for personal safety or like that. Although they are going to be attacking with reduced force. Ugh. Going will counterattack that.
Yeah.
Doing so successfully. Blunting Sempia's military. I mean, taking quite a hit to their own, too. As from the north, a magnificent floating city will invade northern Comir, moving to attack at their territory. Which Comir will defend against. Now with is a failure. No, wait, they have 3. They have 3. They strike back. So I will push on. Right? We'll continue to fight them.
Oof. The Mark would like to also attack.
Sure.
I feel like if we want to impress, this is the time.
Go. What are you attacking?
I mean, I have my Shadow War dude here. What are
Well, they
any
respond
way I
to
could use take gold so that I can keep sustaining my raid?
sure. Go plunder the countryside.
Hey, I wasn't told that I couldn't.
Hmm.
Right?
Right. You attack, there will be a counter attack.
Oof.
Which means that you will not only have to pay 1 for your attack, but lose an additional.
War wizards dive bomb and fireball the march.
Yeah, I know. Ugh. Oh god. Well, I mean that really hurt.
Yeah, Comir's defended well so far, even as they're beset by all sides. But they are a powerful nation. Grand and undaunted for ages.
So stealing the orb was
Espionage, influence, and treasury.
influence and treasure. Well, we're gonna try that then. Surely they're occupied, you know. Right?
They've certainly taken some hits.
God, no. Oh
Enough.
well, the force. That's not enough.
Mhm.
God damn it. Shit. Mm-hmm.
Want to try again?
I mean, yes, I do.
Quite a lot of devastation in Comirian lands after. Double
Oh.
9s might do it.
And the double 5s, which beat the minimum DC as well.
Yeah. Defend, obviously. No, that's a bad roll. Their influence, their weakest stat.
You
yeah.
did it?
It'll be a dramatic time, right? In perhaps in the I mean, this city hasn't really been attacked yet, but the war is certainly it is everywhere. as the marksman is too. I don't know. Is it brutal? Is it? I guess you could actually make it quiet there too.
Yeah, I think it's sort of like, I mean, they were attacking on two fronts, right? It's not the entire mark that go in to steal the orb. I do imagine that, like, they put their ground forces in, but meanwhile, they also have, like, a couple ships that just sidled up to that fucking harbor monster, beat him up to shits, and then, take the orb and sail away.
Yeah, pair of fives to keep the secret, wink.
Yeah, well, yes.
I like that. The Mark have the Orb of Storms.
They do.
Oh, my plan. It looks nice for the little time I'm gonna have it.
Right, well, if we learn how to use it, it can become an asset, which can be used when defending on the sea.
Yeah. Okay, well, that was really nice.
Good job.
Thank you.
Oh, there's a lot more.
Yeah. Yes. Then the fight. Like, how does that reaction go? Like, how slow is the lieutenant to deliver that to Cicatrix? And what's that like for Cicatrix?
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, because again, there's a whole, well, the ship. I wonder if they don't just sail to the fort
Yeah,
actually.
I just wondered whether she would be so paranoid that she might be worried that someone might get an idea of like where she is now, especially if there's black dragons looking for her.
Like they scry on the orb.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, she's a ritual caster now. There's gonna be an anti-scrying ritual on that thing as soon as it touches anywhere near her. There's not gonna be any scrying on the stupid
What,
orb.
what does it cost to anti-scry? I don't know that about 4th edition.
Not that much actually. I have
Yeah.
purchased the ritual 10 times and
Yeah.
because I'm a paranoid dragon. you know. Yeah. That's the first ritual I bought when I took the sheet.
All right.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Um
It's like a round thing. It's like a palantir, basically, it looks, and it has like a cloud with lightning inside of it.
oh
Sort of moving. It's a distant storm. Is
I
cat.
think just has plans with this orb, but it's so pretty though.
So beautiful.
So good for pirating too.
Oh, pirating. Maybe she should become pirate king.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean queen,
Queen, obviously.
but I mean, yes. I mean, isn't she really already? She's the main fleet of Westgate.
Mhm. Yeah. That said, Komi has defended successfully this year. Really, Sempia and the Shadow War haven't lost anything permanently. They've gained ground still. And they're going to keep coming till defeated, until Cormia lies in ruins. They don't have to do it this year. They don't have a deadline. No one's coming to save Cormia. After all, they're the ones who have to save everyone else, usually.
Yeah, they're not wrong.
All right. Did a lot of you have another action you want to take?
I'll take actions this year, but I wanted to see whether you sheep had anything you wanted to do first.
I don't think so. I'm fine with just taking things slow. My goal of annexing the Cult of the Dragon has been accomplished, so I don't want to start anything big.
All right. Think then I will act through Novacree, who doesn't understand like this whole like giant lion appearing now in the forest thing. That seems pretty alarming. Powerful. I think he'll renew the policing. He'll order the Verdant Eclipse to do so, though has concerns that he doesn't know how to protect against that. That's what the dragon has to deal with. That's going to be 7 days. That'll be it's not very great. Think think that basically just summarizes how he feels right now. We'll deduct might by 1. I think the other thing I'm gonna do is gather information on the Emerald Enclave. They've now permanently reduced in sovereignty. He needs to get a sense of, like, from the perspective of the druids, what the hell has happened and what's going to happen moving forward.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, it's not even like I'm not even taking action. He just needs to know before he takes action. That's influence and sovereignties. That's 8 dice. We'll
Yeah,
deduct sovereignty by 1.
they don't defend. I guess your requests. So, yeah, the Emerald Enclave right now has always consisted of several different sub-factions. The main one are druids, generally followers of Sylvanas, the neutral lord of just sort of the seasons going by, trees growing, nature doing its thing, unopposed. Sort of just, yeah, you contemplate and allow things to happen as they normally would. Thus, they don't really like the spell play. They also have a lot of these are, but didn't get the largest group of them are moderates. They have a lot of respect for Cinder Moon because they remember a time. She's an elf and she's lived so long. You remember a time where she was perhaps a bit of a different person, much more contemplative and much more aligned with their sort of general ideals. And she's sort of riding on a reputation of that even now, even if her goals and such don't really make sense to them. Many of them believe that she knows what she's doing. She's proven she's incredibly wise in the past, and if this is what she believes is best, then it probably is best. That said, as the methods are getting more extreme, and as this sort of conflict with Nathlan and conflict with the cult Nobanyan, who has traditionally been the next largest group of people in the Vilhorn Wilds, sort of this sort of area of the Goldmere and south, um, they more of them are beginning to question whether their current leadership is you know is she sane? Does she know what she's doing? She's acting like someone who isn't, and it increasingly doesn't make sense to them what's going on, right?
Yeah, now, Sylvanas is pretty aloof, but is there any official word from, like, on how to interpret one of his exarchs having an avatar that's consists entirely of blue flame?
The Oak Father has been fairly quiet this whole time after Spellplague. His power is great, and it has mostly been used as a cloak to protect many of the other nature deities who, during the Spellplague, took a massive hit. The world of Toril, sort of itself, was under assault from another realm and suffered greatly, and so the domains of nature were weakened. Savan has almost sort of sacrificed much of his own personality and involvement to essentially accept all the other aspects as part of himself in order to shield them. He also in this time has some deities such as Myliki and Umberlee as
Right.
as sub factions. Thus, his attention is constantly divided, and his opinions are divided amongst himself. This makes him very really he doesn't do a whole lot.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Trying to operate from like the mindset of like the greedy and arrogant Novacree here. Let me flip a coin here. Is he greedy enough, even with the scolding from the dragon? Of course he is. So Novacree's mindset is here, and I think this is what he's going to work to try and project power onto the Emerald Enclave that's permanently like lost its sovereignty. It's in confusion. So all y'all druids disagree, summarizing, of course, on so much. And there's lots of doubt here about whether Cindermoon's doing the right thing. But no matter what, in all of the time of the Emerald Enclave since the Spell Plague, the Spell-Scarred from the Far Realm are a abhorrent abomination. Now, when you look at the Gulfmere and you hear stories of the Avatar of Nobanyan being entirely consisting of blue fire, like, there's no way to separate that. It's spell scarring. Nobanyan itself has been afflicted by the Far Realm. We all have to be unified in that, right? And I think that's what the Verdant Eclipse is going to try and do: impress upon like the Emerald Enclave, not to like fortify their sovereignty, but to make sure they don't just like collapse under Cindermoon here, because then who knows where she might. She's already crazy. what she might do with that.
They work as a moderating influence on her, yeah.
Yeah. Like they work as a moderating influence on her, and Cindermoon sounds like she's going to be here for a while since now this thing is here, so they need to be here to cancel each other out. Yeah. I think he's going to work towards influencing the Emerald Enclave.
Mm-hmm.
That will be influence and a treasure. Which will be 7 dice. A pair of 3s.
Pair of 3s. Yeah, I don't. Do they defend against this? I don't think so. Not at the current moment. Really, they sort of see the Verdant Eclipse as like almost as a part, at least an ally.
Mhm.
The Enclave, right? They're generally a pretty
Mm.
mixed group.
Yeah,
Just
Like,
by the,
like other than like putting the temple here and basically giving the middle finger to Nobanyan, like they have taken no hostile action at all against the druid.
there's plenty of people who don't like each other within the Emerald Enclave, and yeah, I mean it appears that there's no argument that can really be made that Nobanyan isn't bad now. But some still believe the ideals that he at least stood for once were great. And but yeah, that
Right. Right. I don't think Nova Korea is going to try to sway them that the ideas are bad so much as like the avatar itself is made of blue fire, and that's probably more important right now.
it's a problem. Yeah. The Cold Nobanyan is somewhat in disarray, though. That just this must be Millar's fault somehow. Who knows? Maybe this thing they did with the spell plague at Star Mantle. That was when all this began, right? Right? There's a scrambling for some sort of meaning in the chaos,
Right.
which
Um,
rather radicalizing.
I think the other thing I'm going to work towards, and yeah, this is Nova Korea. He did this once. This surely won't come back to like directly punish him. Is he's going to have messengers come out to spread the word that so that all can know that an avatar of Nobanyan consisting entirely of blue flame has manifested in the Gulfmere Forest. So that it is no secret.
Mhm.
And come what may of that knowledge.
Hear ye, hear ye!
Yep.
The Lord of the End Times have appeared. A spell-scarred god.
Yeah. Yeah.
What does that
And
even mean?
yeah, like he's not even like there's no like concept of like he's not even trying to achieve like a direct result other than just like the chaos of like let's see what happens. There's got to be an opportunity in this somewhere.
Though the immediate response from the places surrounding the Gulfmere is, what? In where? Gulfmere?
Yeah, it's too far.
Gulfmere.
Yeah, who cares? Yeah,
Big deal going on.
yeah. There's a war going on. Yeah. All
All
right,
good.
I'm done. Yeah, I'm done for this year.
Part of the sky is literally falling into blackness, and you're telling me to worry about a blue dude.
Yeah, like Avatar Nobanyan, great. Send him up north. He can light up the shadow.
All right, yeah. Next year. So we push on towards the point where dragons wake up. As well, I mean, you're at full war in the north, so perhaps just doing that is sensible. Cormia is still somewhat on the defensive, though there is word that hope will come, because many other factions have looked at the Sembia that currently is shrouded in permanent darkness, and the rituals of Shah that are being performed within the cities of Sembia. And this is all very alarming to them. They don't like this at all. Nor do they like the word of Sirig worshippers just on the free in Westgate. This whole place needs some. It needs God, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
this is all cursed, and so it is said that a coalition is being drawn together of the free nations of the Sea of Fallen Stars that will soon be able to send aid to Cormia, military aid from these nations to perhaps beat back this darkness that has enraptured the region. This spurs Sembia on. If they can defeat Comia before this aid arrives, they might be able to do something with it, be able to win. But now they have a time limit. They know well that they couldn't fight every nation in the Sea of Fallen Stars. It's too many. As such, they call for all enemies of Cormir. This is your chance to really inflict some wounds. A chance that may never come again. And so they will start. I asked before. Drawing in a few extra people and resources. You know, this also has the effect of making Cormir feel like it's okay to just defend. Because they know that they're not in an endless siege. Sembia attacks, and Cormir will defend. But unsuccessfully. Wait, no, they got triple threes. And will thus weather that. We'll roll the others. That is a failed defense. Sembia pushes in further. The successful defense is mounted. We will take further wounds. To make this go a little faster, I'm going to begin inflicting double wounds on these guys. Because that just, I feel like otherwise.
But the timer.
The timer. And
God, Sembia, you gotta do better. Jeez.
build the defense. Sembia reaches in. Damaging Cormir, but not really managing to destroy much of them. Cormir, meanwhile, will actually take action and attack the Shadow War. They believe that is the true foe here, and they will put a lot into it. So first, we'll gather some extra forces.
I mean, they're not wrong.
They do. To recruit. More people. They require more people. Then we'll attack. They're good at that. Not good enough, though. That was unfortunate for Cormir. Still unfortunate for Cormir. They suffer unexpected setbacks, even when sending their whole force against the enemy.
I need one of those flying fortresses.
They're pretty good.
Well, now that it's been weakened by the attacks from Cormir,
No, no, I need
And
these.
attack dragon. Attack your allies when they've
But
been.
the marked will attack Cormir.
All right.
they don't have a flying fortress.
No, I need. We have other plans with you guys.
Uh,
I will try and raise my might with. Would that be influence and sovereignty again?
You could, yeah.
Yes.
it's sovereignty and whatever other stat you're using to increase it.
How do you use your connections to draw in soldiers? Other gangs in Westgate, perhaps?
Yeah, I would think so.
Mercenaries, you know.
Sort
That's
of exactly. It's like the Scrabble that are not good enough to be in like the Black Network, and not crazy enough to be in the cult.
right.
Um,
Sure.
and maybe offer them that maybe if they prove themselves, they could be part of a great organization.
Future. Oh.
Yeah, off the streets. Well, on the streets, but yes, really, still on the streets actually. But I mean,
Comey will counterattack.
well, that was not an attack.
Oh, that's true.
This is it. I have 8 dice.
They'll still counterattack
Okay.
to get you.
Oof, they will
And they
get
will
me.
succeed, doing an extra point of damage to your might. As you charge in, uh,
Well, more
there's a
treasure, right?
yeah. As the cavalry purple dragon knights, griffin ride.
Damn, they still have so much, even with being up by 3 different factions.
It
Like,
helps to have the faction, which is war wizards and purple dragon knights.
yeah,
You know, because
we
only
can't
one
really
I use the
do
time.
anything about that.
Mhm.
Ah. Hmm.
But you want to
Hmm.
impress, right?
I do. The thing is, these guys are not going to be useful to me if they lose. You know? Oh. Oh.
You won't be useful to you if you lose it.
No.
Yeah, they'll counterattack that too.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. Yeah. Ow.
uh,
Yeah, I think the Marks are gonna, hold back a little bit.
Adawar will attack. Oh. Okay. Well, Comey
Oh
will
man,
counterattack. Comey will counterattack.
yeah.
Slamming them on the nose.
those fucking Cormier rolls are
Hey, man, bringing down a Titan is difficult.
on
Yeah.
fire.
Yeah. War wizards and purple dragon. As it turns out, law is being besieged, and there are people here ready to defend order.
Mm-hmm. Heroes gathering. Grand sight, but they are taking casualties. They don't have 10 dice anymore, so that
Oh,
hasn't happened in a
oh,
long time. Cormich actually have reduced themselves to such a thing. As Sembia spent this time gathering renewed power and strength. Upping a couple, using their own connections to unsavory people to get some more money. I mean, that's what they do. And money is weapons. Let's hit them with our cash. Yeah. Well, that looks like another Cormyrian counterattack. Which succeeds narrowly.
what? Isn't it the same?
Yes, and so defense wins.
Oh, even when counterattacking?
It's a contest, I guess. No one wins?
Well, they're not defending, right?
It's true, but they still have the same result. So I guess they
Yeah.
both
Oh yeah. Just
they bend one for one, and then
they do say there are no winners in war.
I mean, you might say that. But you don't want to.
They
Yeah,
might do because they'll want.
we'll defend,
Yes.
failing. Getting a bit thin here. What's the continued onslaught as they will gather up new forces. Yes. No. And yeah, that's expensive. What's Sibia gonna do though? Stop? No, they kind of need to see this through. Just know how to defend against those 10s, but give me a tries. And fails. More wall. Sibia screams the attack, failing. And succeeding.
Another pair of 10s.
We will raggedly bend and fail. Extra hits. Getting to the point where they will really need some aid soon. No one else is really in place to attack them, though. This might be a good time for the market to continue.
Yeah, I was thinking I need to raise some resources here. I'm gonna try and squeeze my influences again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're recruiting all the crazy bastards on the streets. And there are not a lot left of them.
Mercenary.
Do us best. Yes. All right. We're actually gonna take. Oof. Oof. God, I'm squeezing myself in here.
So are they.
Fuck
Everyone
it.
in
I'm
this fight
gonna.
is right now.
Hmm.
Everyone in this fight is right now.
Yeah. I do imagine this is not just like the first month of a year.
No, this is the whole year.
Oh, good. I don't want to be like fucking backstabbed by 10 people. Like, oh.
Yeah, be careful, like, doing that, though. Like, someone might come from Westgate after you. It's the Rippers! Just fucking with you.
There's no time to get involved if you're not sort of here already.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
try and squeeze my territory as well. No.
No.
They
It's
don't
so
have any money.
far.
Yeah,
Across the water.
it is across the
And
water.
it's on a war front.
Yeah. All right. Well, God, why can't there be pirate kings on the sea?
I
It
can
was so much easier to deal with.
Yeah.
But dragon can't get involved. Ugh.
Yes.
All right. Here we go.
No.
No.
Oof.
Also need to know what you're attacking because it's actually pretty significant at this point.
Oh, still raiding.
Okay. That was a failure. So
Yeah. I I know. God.
Chin.
Hmm.
Stumble over a broken village, unable to find anything
Yeah.
worthwhile. Actually, the land of Cormier has been harried a lot.
Think of the people, the peasants, the families.
We don't care about them. God. Another thing is like, okay, should I gather resources for 4 dice and maybe fail that, or should I try and roll my 4 dice for attacking and maybe fail that?
You might want to keep that Black Dragon maxim in mind, of if you become too weak, what's to stop, like, the Shadowvar from repurposing you?
Operate.
Sorry, Manakai?
No, I was just repeating what Griff said. But
Oh.
Symbi will try to recruit a little bit here. Yes. More money for influence. Who needs influence anyway? And then
I don't know what trade-off was mine.
attack. Ooh,
Yes.
that is a hard blow.
What are they attacking?
They're taking land, trying to
Oh.
take land. That's a success. They will smash Almerian land to the point of claiming some themselves, pushing all the way to this river. Now
Yes.
incorporate the middle spaces. And I mean that hurts, but they'll try again. It's sort of pitiful. No. No more. No more Symbian interference.
Yeah, I feel it.
Shadow and lovely fanatics. They can try to recover some more strength here. A couple of attacks. That would be good for them. Then they will try. No. And no. They're not being very successful. Does the marked have more attacks they want to do?
Gonna be so weak if anyone wants to fuck with me.
Sure. You know.
I already got this Orb of Storms.
Mhm.
I mean, Symbia attacked with 4 dice,
Did.
and then 3. Oh god.
At this point.
Now we're gonna...
Because at this point defense is afraid, and that's when you can actually begin inflicting damage.
Yeah, well... Look at my token, I'm pretty free.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck it. I'm gonna attack once more. I wouldn't know what their weakest
They
stat...
permanently lost territory,
Mm-hmm.
which means their territory has to be 0.
Yep.
As in, like, not permanently 0, but they got damage enough to have permanently lost territory.
Right.
You could
So
try
that
to
one's
attack to annex. You could try to attack to annex territory, conquer a little bit for yourself. But I don't know if that's...
Zethusden would nod knowingly.
No.
No, I don't want that. I just don't know what else to, like, what they would want me to attack, I suppose.
I mean, they would want might, right? Because if you can get their might down, that's like...
Yeah, sure.
All right.
No. There's no more.
You're done.
Yeah, I would roll 3 dice. I can't do it.
That'd be again. Didn't help them much. All right. The Shadowar have 2 dice. Sembia has 2. Cormia has 2. Yeah.
They do? God.
They have very little, yeah.
The chances of rolling one with like 2 pairs when you have 3 dice is so low.
It's still. The Shadow will try to push their influence a bit. Just gain a bit, another chance to attack. No. They're just exhausted on all fronts, really.
Yeah.
There's but they managed to just hurt them a little bit. Will there be another chance in the future?
Elsewhere in this region over that entire year.
Yeah. Yeah. Does Valignant want to try to build Elversod again?
I think so.
Sure, do it.
What role was that?
Sovereignty and treasure.
Right. Alright. You know, while that big old war is going on,
Yes.
Yeah.
we're building the future.
After the horrors of the purple worm, then that totally caused the devastation, and no one else.
That's what I heard.
You killed that, the savior of Elversold.
Yeah. Double fall, double free. And if this new Elver Soul does what I need it to do, it won't get burnt down again. How about that?
What is it needed to do?
I don't know yet, but that's their problem.
What do you want? You'll have to figure that out for
I
me.
enjoy you so much.
All right, yeah. Thunderhome is happy with this. This is good news. That there's now, what can be said to be a settlement. It's not as big as it was before, obviously, but people live there. So this is on the map as a place. Beyond both, just like a ruin with a skull on it. So, yeah, it's good. Very good. Any other actions you all want to pursue?
I do. I just wanted to see whether everyone else is done first for this year.
Seems like the Marked and Veliknath are at least.
Yeah.
All right.
Go to the forest
All
here.
right. Yep. Nova Kree, think his action of this year is going to be to. God, he can't help himself. Like I'm just remembering like his personality tenets and like how he is. I think the duplicitous, conniving, and cunning like Nova Kree is going to reach out to the cult of Nobanyan like elements that are here in the Gulf Bear, and build an argument like this. Like, look, like Malar on one side of Sylvanas, you're on the other. Vastly different ideas. Like we're gonna have lots of problems, much like the Emerald Enclave is having. But if there's got to be anything that we can like look at and say that's concerning, it's an element from the far realm. Cindermoon's devoted to sweeping across all of Toril to take that out, right? Well, there is a powerful, immensely powerful, like lion here that could very well be an avatar of your god. So long as that's here, Cindermoon's never leaving. So if you could like woo the avatar, or perhaps like soothe or commune with the air of Naflan in some way to walk the avatar of Nobanyan out of here, Cindermoon will follow that wherever it goes. What Nova Kree wants to do here is get the avatar of Nobanyan out of the Gulfmere in the hopes that maybe Cindermoon goes after it. And the cult of Nobanyan can't want Cindermoon here.
Yeah. No, they don't. Well, maybe now they do, because it's a problem.
Yeah, I think he wants to try and reach across the divide here to convince the cult of Nobanyan to try and commune with the Avatar, to at least, like, go somewhere else. There's a place better for you. It can't be here. Influence and treasure it is. Okay. That is 7 days for me. A pair of ones. Okay, yeah, Nova Kree's.
Yeah, they're gonna say no.
All right. Now, when Nova Kree, when that happens to him, he doesn't assume it's his fault. It's someone else's fault.
Obviously.
Now, how is he going to react as a result of that? Let me flip the coin here. How much trouble is he willing to cause? Of course, he's willing to cause all the trouble. Okay, so then the Emerald Enclave here, he'll look towards them as I deduct, we'll say, treasure by 1. And Nova Kree will work the Verdant Eclipse against, the Emerald Enclave, like, hey, okay, like, we're here together as like a united front against the Far Realm, and this lion, this Avatar Nobanyan, very clearly from the Far Realm. The worship of Nobanyan has been outlawed. We know that gods are powerful based on like their worshippers. So the cult of Nobanyan that's still here in the Gulf Mirror, the worship of Nobanyan's been outlawed, so they gotta go. And maybe if they go, that'll weaken the Avatar of Nobanyan. I think so. So he's going to try and like push the Emerald Enclave to take direct action against the remaining like worshippers of Nobanyan here, especially since they're at their low sovereignty.
Mhm.
It'll be again another influence and treasure roll, this time with 6 dice. Yep. Triple eights.
Blades. I mean, the Golden Bend would like that to not happen, but they don't get to make that not happen. And you know what? It's a compelling argument. And it is true. They have broken in here. This was decided not to happen. Like, they can't believe it's the Cult Nobanyan's fault that Nobanyan is like this. Like, this is not. Nor do they really know what to do about the lion that appears to burn people and things. They could try to face it, but at a certain point, the normal druid can't face it.
Yeah.
It just isn't feasible.
Right. That's Cinder Moon's like realm, but what we can deal with are more temporal things, like the Cult of Nobanyan.
Yeah. To push them out or strike them out.
Or convince them that the worship of Nobanyan is not the correct choice.
Oh. So I think, given the current thing, lashing out is what will be happening here.
All right.
To simply say out. No. No. They need more money. They begin to actually push against.
What's that? You need more money, might, and sovereignty to increase treasury for the Emerald Enclave. Done. Done. +2 treasure.
+2 treasure.
I'll deduct my might and sovereignty by 1.
Not a convincing effort. But it'll do it. Pushing the Coldman out of the forest. As they banish them. The cult not really willing to sort of subsist and slaughter the druids. That's not, they're trying to hold their ground, but beyond that, they're not here to fight really, because they don't really dislike them. Most of these druids, this is all very unfortunate for them.
Yeah, theological difference right now.
That said, there are people who think maybe, maybe this is what had to happen to stop Millar. Maybe Millar is the greater evil. Maybe they should try communing with this thing. And some of them sort of begin pursuing that in various ways.
In a way, Nova Cree convinced them.
Golden Nobanyan too is having sovereignty problems. Because some believe that they should follow their god as he was, and some say that maybe, it's a new Nobanyan for a new age. Maybe they need to burn everything. Maybe it's too late for this version of the world.
I think the only other action I'll take is to, with 5 dice, try and renew the policing for the year. Paranoids.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done for the year.
Paranoids. All right, and we are done for the year. This year, as predicted, a grand proclamation comes from the other nations of the Sea of Fallen Stars, stating that they will not stand idly by to see Cormier, a stabilizing influence in this whole region, be completely taken over by such dark forces as Sembia and the Shadow. This will be a greater conflict that will happen, and thus we will simply look away from Cormier and the Shadowvar and Sembia for a bit, as they will be dealing with something else this year.
Oh.
essentially could stay here, fighting for these dark forces. But for now, essentially, the attacks on Cormier has to halt because there's a new front opening.
Okay.
But it's sort of off our map, so
Well, or I guess they can still stay here and sort of try and
Yeah.
hold what has been taken.
Yeah, protect the new territory.
Yeah.
definitely.
I don't
that's
feel like
what we expected, really.
expected. Well,
Well, I mean, you don't bail as soon as things turn against you.
no, you don't. That's exactly right.
All right.
It is nice to have ships nearby, though.
Yeah.
They definitely keep to the coastline,
Yeah. Just in
or
case.
not too far from it. You know.
We won't bail, wink.
As the Thesk and Impiltor navies sort of begin to sail up and down that coast, yeah.
The evil guys has a flying castle they can flee in. Like,
Yeah, well, they're not going to sail that over the water. God.
no, but that's what's like. I have my way out, and they have theirs. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, that said, we will look away from that conflict and to what other conflicts are currently ongoing. We have the Gulfmere Forest. Currently, the Emerald Enclave is reeling, called Nobanyan is reeling. Nathland is dealing with monsters that are flooding in from their south, which I have reflected as just a permanent decrease, or not a permanent, but like a temporary but long-term decrease to some of their stats. As they basically every year will be trying to deal with various monster attacks.
Who could do such a thing?
It is alongside this all other stuff. It is an omen of bad things, certainly. I think currently they just like Nobanyan is cursed. That is a very bad thing. I mean, Silver Moon clearly created this situation from the chosen, right? Like, who do you blame? There's a lot of different. There's a lot of suspicion. People don't really trust Millar to play fair.
Right, but the rest of Sylvanas can be trusted, right?
Surely, right? Right?
Yeah. It's not just Malar here, it's other elements of Sylvanas don't like the blue flame either.
Oh, they don't like it at all. No.
I don't
No,
approve of this anti-Malar PR.
yeah. I think at the moment there's going to be a bit of a lull in most places here. Do you all have something you want to sort of push to get going?
I do. Sheep, do you have anything?
Not push to get going, but certainly continuing the whole Eversalt thing.
Go for it.
Let's do a roll. Double twos.
Yeah, not enough to significantly push it. That said, it is a village now. There's people living there. It's sort of a will like how does he treat that? Mostly it's refugees, people who used to live here who left and maybe don't have the greatest memories of it, but like what's his approach? Is he just trying to help for altruism, or is he inserting his own people? Or like...
I think what he's trying to do is to normalize people living under his rule. Like the people from everywhere see him as this destructive red dragon who burns down towns, which is entirely legitimate and mostly correct. But it is important to show that those who don't oppose him actually, profit from it and get to do their thing. So it's better to just do what he wants and profit and live and be happy and get supported, rather than see the other side, which might be more prominent. Basically, it's meant to show that he has two sides. You can sort of decide which one you want to have.
All right. it's PR basically.
It's entirely PR. He doesn't give a shit about people. Although there's one fault behind Elversalt, which is that it's definitely in a good location to trade from,
Mhm.
and perhaps in the future it might become a good place to sell things like weapons and stuff from, which certainly both Thunderhome and the Dragonfane are well equipped to produce.
Thunderhome, indeed, and as I was about to say before, the trade is why they're doing this. They
Yeah.
want a place there that they have control over, which where they can have beneficial sort of trade relations. It is their merchants who have the nice stores. So the humans are here to live and to make the place run, but the dwarves are putting themselves in a position to be the people of prominence.
Yeah, it's certainly the same faults I had.
All right, yeah, seems to be fine cooperation then. Doesn't seem like you compete with the dwarves really
No.
for these positions. So there's no real increased agitation there. General, it's sort of calmed down a bit. Perhaps the aftermath of the trial, given how it went, it's become more of a. There's maybe a little bit more flux in the dwarves between the Dragonfane and Thunderhome. You move back and forth a little bit more. More conversations ahead. Some people are just curious of the other perspective, after all. Beyond that, though, I mean, Velikoth hasn't shown himself actively for years now. It's almost like when the dragons don't show up for a while, people sort of begin to move on with their lives, you know?
How does that one song go? Don't you forget about me.
Yeah, it's by Simple Minds. It was featured in The Breakfast Club. I love that movie.
Ah, that is exactly where I remembered from.
Yeah, that movie.
You should watch it.
You
That
are
we all
Manakai's
know
sister.
Oh shit. You two are
Uh,
so
and
clever.
have definitely watched. It's about a breakfast club.
I mean, there I can understand not having watched movies that came out like this year or this week or this month. But Breakfast Club is from like 19 something?
Makes it more likely, you say?
Makes it more plausible you've seen it.
That's the movie is older than I am.
Yeah,
Oof.
1985.
85, yeah.
Well,
Hmm. All right. Well, with that feel good, uh, I guess I'll take action then. How we feeling this year, Novacree? Son of a bitch. You won't calm down. All right. Well, Novacree, in his infinite arrogance and wisdom, sees the dissolution of the cult of Nobanyan as an opportunity here. And I think even though they've been pushed out of the forest, uh, even though he's tried to present himself as the consummate bluffer as he is on all sides at every time, I think he's going to take indirect action as to send the Golden Abandon into a spiral down the folks here. I want to take indirect action against them, an unconventional attack to assassinate their leaders.
Ooh. All right.
It's something that he is going to pursue to kill their sovereignty. They break up. Uh, let's see here. This will be yeah, so it's a might influence, so we're going to work on increasing might first against Nobanyan or Anaflin. We can do that.
Yeah.
Let's draw up on some territory plus sovereignty. Draw in some druids of Malar. That gets done. -1 territory, +1 might. Do we use treasure? Yeah. Not everyone's into this whole Nobanyan thing, and there's got to be some skilled tradesmen, some assassins in the craft, some sneaky folks. Let's go ahead and I should have had an extra 2 dice there. That roll doesn't matter. We'll go ahead and use treasure and sovereignty to increase might. So that'll be 7 dice, and we'll use the extra 2 there, so it'll be 9. Yeah, might gets increased. We'll deduct treasure by 1. So we'll make a might and influence roll against the cult of Nobanyan. That'll be at 9 dice. Triple eights
Triple eights. Yes,
with
they
a
will
pair of sixes.
try to defend themselves. Let's see your unconventional warfare. It's the defense against that. Might and sovereignty.
Oh no.
Double eights. Not enough.
Okay. I'll
As
deduct.
one of their leaders.
Yeah, I'll deduct might by 1, and I'll do it again. This time with 8 dice.
A proud paladin. Nobanyan still believes in the good.
Pair of 10s and a pair of 3s.
I mean, you gotta defend yourself in this case. But it is unlikely. Yeah. Just
Deduct a point of influence, and we'll do it again with 7 dice.
mhm.
Pair of 9s and a pair of 2s.
They'll just have to take that damage. They will try to draw up people from their territory. No.
They're trying to draw people to. I'm unconventionally attacking their sovereignty. They're gonna raise their sovereignty on me.
No, they could use the might to defend against you.
That's true. We'll deduct a point of might there. Just going to thinking about what would you do, Nova Craig? I don't think I'm even gonna make a flip for this. It hasn't come back to bite you yet. I keep rolling ones on my coin flips. We're gonna do it again. 6 dice. We break apart their leadership enough, they'll have to flee. It's the only way, only course of action. 6 dice. Shit. We don't even make it there that time.
Mhm. How to
Deduct.
find leaders now.
Yep. Too few leaders. All right. How we feeling here, Nova Craig? All right. New tactic. If we can convince the Emerald Enclave to break apart the rest of the leadership for us. No, I don't think even Nova Creek can make that argument. There's too many similarities. There's too many folks who like each other. I think he's gonna. I don't even think he's gonna renew the policing. He's gonna pout and think, "I'm done for the rest of the year," and he'll provoked otherwise.
All right. Musicatrix is just engaged in general warfare.
Yeah, I feel like that's fair, right? Like,
Yeah, it is.
I don't think that given last time we would have much resources for other things.
All right, then. We enter into another year. Blitzing through a couple here. That's good.
On that note, though, would it be perhaps possible to end the session a bit early? I'm noticing that I have basically no energy left after my day.
Yeah, we could do that. I would like to finish this year just because it's the last one before you wake up.
Oh, yeah, that seems important.
And from the beginning of next time, the dragons can begin to act. Which would be exciting. But yes.
That's cool by me. If you can hang in there for one more year, Sheep.
Yeah, for one more year.
Just one more year, buddy.
Oh man, that's how it feels to be like working, right? Yeah. This year, there will be a truce between Sembia and Comir, solidifying the current borders as they are, and putting both their armies on hold on either side of the border. as essentially the reinforcements have made it so that Symbiote doesn't seem to get any real ground, nor does Cormier think they could defeat them entirely with the Shadow War as well, locking the current situation in place for, well, perhaps even for the foreseeable future.
So the new borders basically along this river here?
Yes, though this is still somewhat of an uncontrollable place. It's more like Symbia has some like camps here. It's not like
Okay.
anyone really lives here anyway. But they sort
Right.
of retook their sort of official sideline here. Which is more than they would have for a long time. The border has been all the way over here at some point in history. It's been moved back and forth a bit. So they didn't manage to push as far back as they wanted. For a kingdom. Thunderhome itself, at this point, has finished Oversalt with Veligneth's help and is actually feeling quite good about it. They maybe it's better to do that next time. But they have negotiations they would like to talk to Veligneth. Things have been stable, good even recently. They have stayed out of war, produced things, they've grown. They believe so has the Dragon Fane. And they have an offer. As the
Well,
situation currently stands, there's the contention with the mine. And it appears to them that if they treat the dragon with some bit of respect, and as a fellow dwarf, essentially, if they treat Veligneth as if he's a dwarf, then maybe this current situation could continue for long.
what does that
The
mean?
argument has been made by some dwarves that that if they continue to constantly prod and annoy the dragon, eventually the dragon will be tired of them and will just like to burn the whole thing down. So they offer to evenly share the responsibility of protecting the silver mine and the profits from it. So some of his people would be there, some of their people would be there, and they will sort of work together on it, right? For mutual benefit. Beyond that, they will extend that to their presences in the mountain range for common enemies. This means that if a common enemy attacks either them or Veligneth, then they would both rise to defend one another. Common enemies means like not Cormier, but for example, undead giant. Other things that are sort of unsavory.
I mean, that's acceptable for the most part. Of course, assuming that the dwarves are going to honor the position of the mine as a holy place of Tiamat, which is important. And of course, there is the matter of the past 20 years or so of profits leaving the mine before any sort of agreement was found, and Veligneth did promise he would be counting and he would be asking for that back. That still stands.
They don't have that money just sort of laying around.
Well, you know, if you consider the value of what left the mine as the portion of Thunderhome that Veligneth owns, then surely at least he can have the political influence that brings with it, as in a position on that council.
Ooh.
Could you give me a diplomacy roll here? You're being very diplomatic and sort of demanding too.
30 is pretty good.
30 is pretty good.
Oh, he's not even trying the stick there.
And that is with it.
Oh, okay.
He most certainly is.
That's what I thought. I was confused. My apologies.
Trading vibe. How about meet halfway and he can send someone who can act as an advisory role, right? So who can listen in on meetings and sort of pipe in with things, but
That's
you know,
not halfway. That's basically not even close.
if they don't want to, they want something that the people would be okay with. Something that and being overruled by a dragon is harsh.
Not overruled, just ruled.
See, that's they like self-governance.
Ah,
Valigeth rules the dragons, and the dwarves rule the dwarves, and they could work together, sort of as friends and allies. But
I mean, Velignus' political influence would be proportional to the debt that Thunderhome still owes him. So really, they have the opportunity to get out of it again.
how do you quantify political influence?
Well, that's a matter for the scholars.
President ask them, how do you quantify? Take a philosophical.
Yeah, we'll get a PhD issued out on that.
What's a vote worth? Dangerous thing to begin talking about. Yeah, I mean, so, and well, but maybe the dragon could have a title of sort of an honorary baron in Thunderhome alongside the other barons. He doesn't have like a house there, but he can come and he can show up and have a meal and sit on the meetings. If he shows up himself, then he would get a vote like any other noble.
What if that title included treasurer? How about that? It is all about money, after all.
Managing the money,
Overseeing it.
they don't. He sees the greedy glint in all their eyes. I think they might say that that's a maybe in the future, but for now this is as far as they can stretch it. Him getting to vote on how they should construct the new mining tunnels and such is already quite an unorthodox solution.
That could be considered a first step towards coming to a permanent agreement regarding the silver mine. At least better than the status quo, for sure.
So, is he content for the time being?
For the time being, sure.
Right? Will he actually show up?
Yeah, I
Sort of
think so.
issues.
I don't think he's gonna really pay attention or participate. He mostly just wants to be there, you know?
Mm-hmm.
He'll sit there with his barony title like he owns the place, basically.
Mm-hmm. All right. Certainly takes a lot of space, but how it
This is
goes.
better than putting a horse on the council, chief.
Oh.
Sending some stand-in dinosaur.
Horse is my chancellor. Standard dinosaur. I love that.
Oh,
Just fit him in there.
his one lone trihorn that he has.
He's my ambassador. You'll feed him as you would me.
He will listen to all your proposals and such. He's a great listener.
Dwarf tugs at his beard in thought.
Like, oh boy.
Maybe I should have gone down to the ancient hole with the others.
The marked. I suppose you return home or like to wherever you go.
yeah, I mean,
That's
if
true.
there's no more war.
I mean, you're welcome to stay in one of the camps, but you won't be paid as long as there's no fighting.
Yeah, well, they still owe me money, so
They do.
yeah. I mean, I'll leave a cart. They know where to find me. I'm assuming this still won't last forever.
I wonder what it's like for the Mark to head back to Westgate proper, because we haven't heard from that city in a little bit.
Yeah. It is. It is much more of a place of anarchy.
Oh, that's why the years have been going so quickly.
Yeah, I mean, Rip Van Host of the Cold Circuit has just been wrecking havoc on stuff, and there's no one really around to stop them. The Black Network would, but they don't have the sort of soldiers you would need.
Um, Actually, there is one thing that I would like to do. I would like to use my hacks to gather information, and I specifically want them to try and find out. And I don't know if they do this by scrying or by doing their oracle thing, but I want to know whether Severus has like the forbidden ritual set up so you can't scry on him.
Severius, you mean?
There's the dragon, the big
Yeah.
dragon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure. His scrying protections go.
If he has. So that is just my normal gather guerrilla information.
Yeah, it is.
What is it? Influence and sovereignty.
Yeah.
Hmm. I'm like, oh, I'm not in Comia anymore. Right,
Welcome home.
right.
Gone for a while.
Yes, tell me.
They will shake their heads as his arrogance is greater than most. It would appear that he has no such protections. He wants to be seen.
Hmm. Yes. Well, imagine Vesicagis went there herself.
To the hags.
Yeah. I mean, she assumes they know because they could just so easily find out. you know,
Mhm.
just be like, hey, what's up? Why haven't I seen the dragon for like a time? And then it's like, oh, something about being very tired and old and not. Okay. Yeah, okay. And well, anyway, when she receives those news, there is the most evil shit-eating grin on her face. Yes, excellent. Yeah, I'll deduct an influence here too.
Yeah. Right.
Mhm. Good, good. Are they able to scry? They must be. The hags.
Well, this is kind of their way of scrying. They don't
Okay,
use the
they do
scrying
divine
spell.
things.
They do sort of a hag question thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Hag magic. Use a magic eye to see potential strands of fate, which then
Yeah, that's not really what I'm
reveals
looking
the thing.
for. All right. Okay. Hacking. Oh my god.
Magic.
Magic. Oh god. Yeah.
Delicacy in Scotland.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's that's interesting. The signatures will return to her lair, looking, I mean, she's not looking happy, but she's looking happier. And really, that's a treat. Also, I guess she can start feeling her body loosening up a little bit.
Yeah, this year you begin to feel that like I feel a little bit better. I can actually drink or eat something and then, you know,
Yeah.
shudder a
It's
bit.
only 2 liter of acids per day I spit out.
Mhm.
Oh,
So yeah, the dragons would realize that it's beginning to ease up and have that period of knowing that and probably being like eager for that to happen, but it taking so long still. It's a gradual, slow increase in condition.
So tired of boring, stale food.
I mean, this time it was so long even that, I mean, I don't know, it was much longer than the other times, so I don't know, maybe the dragons began to be worried about maybe it didn't end. It was a decade gone by.
Anything else you're looking to do, Ari?
Mm, no, I think I'll leave it here. I've taken up a lot of time in Cormier.
The truce. Yeah. I don't think I have any immediate actions to take. I want to see how
Yeah.
the rest of the board plays before I do anything this final year. Should Medicae.
All right. Yeah. The cold Nobanyan will begin to further disintegrate. It is. Some of them will go to Nathlan. Those that think that Nobanyan's ideals are great, but currently they cannot be part of this support. While the rest of them, well, the few that remain, will sort of go into a bit of a hiding. The people who believe that maybe there's a meaning to this, maybe this is the new way, or maybe this is just a trick by Malar to banish them further from the region. Those are somewhat radical. Begin to sort of try to hide and move in further into the region. Certainly moving out of Nathlan. Nathlan has its own problems it's dealing with, and the Emerald Enclave too, now given the roaming beast. It seems absolutely mad. Moon's return to the field is greeted by some relief, as it feels like she's the one who might have the answers as to how to deal with this thing. The information she brings out is stark. This is the Avatar of Nobanyan. Beyond that, it is what contains his current divine spark and essence. Nobanyan is clearly dying or dead already. And if he is to be saved, another power will have to claim his service until he can recover. Sylvanus is quiet and has already offered such a thing, but clearly Nobanyan doesn't have enough power, basically, to be an exarch. What this means is that they will have to find someone else. A smaller god, perhaps. And the implications of this is rather terrifying to many of the inhabitants in the forest. Moon doesn't care. This has to be done. Something must be done. This beast thing must be defeated, and then it must be tamed, or have the fire extinguished. That can only really happen with divine intervention. Whose? Well, they're not sure. But some people certainly believe that, well, Malar would be the natural power to take over this.
Exciting.
Yeah. Well, if you're not a moderate neutral, because you're kind of being forced to pick sides at this point.
Right. Can't
Don't-
just about every druid's forced to have an opinion on this.
Yeah, the opinion thing is bad. Say yes, I agree. We should force it and subjugate it to another divine power. They all look at each other. But who? Someone says. Who should be in power with such a thing? Surely a deity of nature.
They go through like the tick boxes of all the natural deities. Umberly, okay.
Doesn't make sense. Oriel? No, it's not wintry. Grumble, grumble. Yeah.
Beast Lord.
Unthinkable, right? Abandoning him as ancient enemies. That would be mad. But yes, maybe. Maybe
Right.
indeed. Right. All right.
Okay. I added a 3 there to see if the Missouri Leadrathir would get involved. And no, it's still full on Novacree all the time.
Mhm.
Very good.
She doesn't need to be bothered with this, right?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I mean, Novacree took the damn sending stone just in case. Like, she is so out of it and inattentive right now. He's just doing his part to help.
Yeah.
That's what he is, a great helper. All right, Novacree. What we got here in your final year of reign? Well, cares the most about securing power. And he looks around him and it's like, how does he secure power? And the best way to ingratiate that, all this talk and rumors, like we had, like the Verdant Eclipse has access to this information that the Emerald Enclave is currently going through.
Yes.
All right.
You have enough Millarite druids coming and going who's happy to inform you of things, really, considering you're an absolute ally.
So I guess like the question from his perspective is, what is the function of the Emerald Enclave? Like, what does it do as an organization?
Mhm.
So what does the Emerald Enclave do?
Their general mission statement has been to protect the general area around here. They have a couple places more to the south in large forest regions where they defend the natural order from the encroachment of civilization. That's generally been their sort of mission statement. Though it has, after the spell plague, been twisted into and hunt the spell plague down wherever it is, and whatever form it takes.
All right. All right. Novacree can work with that mission statement.
Inside of it, there is a desire to bring the idea of sort of the world and the wood can exist together as long as they can find a middle path. That's sort of the other side of it. It's not officially endorsed, but it has been. It does exist. There's a will to try to find more ways to do good,
Yeah,
which is
absolutely. Yeah, more ways to do good. Yes, good. Yes, Novacree's fully on board that. Okay, so get this. So the Emerald Enclave exists to defend not just like this region from threats, but like also like stop the spell scarred. Boy, that avatar of Nobanyan and its divine spark, that's something we all have to get behind. That's even greater than the problems presented by Star Mantle. Because like it's actively damaging this region and it can move. Star Mantle couldn't move. This thing can move. And it's what actively damaging the forest that it goes through, right? With the blue flame.
hunting people down.
Yeah. So this has to be our unified front. We have to stop that. Cinder Moon has come down. She has the knowledge and information about this has to be resolved. And when you look at who's been gaining power and influence in this region, I mean, look at the god that was most involved with the cleansing of Star Mantle, and it's Malar. So if there's anything best equipped to handle this, we gotta throw our weight and support behind Malar just to keep Nobanyan in check. Otherwise, this avatar is going to hunt all of us down and kill us. And that's bad. And then the blue flame will rise again, and that's bad. So I think the goal that Novacree wants to pursue here is to get the Emerald Enclave as it exists fully on board with the idea of empowering Malar with this spark and working to aid the Beast Lord in that. It's not like you have to support Malar, like, or totally, you can still have your differing viewpoint, but we can all agree that this is bad. And not letting it go would be worse, or letting it go would be worse. We have to stop this.
I mean, it's true. Try to do an influence. See how many people you can reach with the message.
I think so. Well, espionage, influence, and treasure. That is a whopping 7 dice.
A lot of them already kind of know that this is what has to be done, but they don't want it to be the solution.
Yeah, a pair of
They want to move
6s.
things slow down. I think given how they feel about this, there's gonna be a resistance here. Some people just don't want to. Yeah, they just don't want to.
Yeah.
It. It's like maybe a different path will show itself.
Oh man, he can't accept failure. He's got to try again.
Mm.
He's willing to push on this point with connections and like Malar's the one who's gaining power influence. This has to be done. You want another star mantle on your hands? What if Naflan becomes the next star mantle? Guilt tripping the druids. That's what he does. Pair of 4s.
And let's see.
Yeah.
7.
All right.
I mean, Nathan would never do that. They're very respectful people, and it did. The child did arrive when asked, and
Yeah.
things about it.
Yeah. Yeah. The conniving betrayer Eladrin is like, shit, I don't know how to work with these people.
Surely in time,
Yeah.
things will be.
Yeah. He's trying to think of like someone he can like assassinate or like remove, but the Cinder Moon's there and he's just gonna police this final year. Yeah, and he's just gonna like just sit in his tower and says, I've done enough this year. That's it. We're done.
Yeah, that said, it is probably something they will have to deal with eventually because this thing is not going away. And it is only growing bolder, wilder, perhaps even stronger as time goes on. And that's a problem. What do you do when you have a corrupted divine avatar? Well, I mean,
That's a good question.
what do? You pray.
Capture it in a Pokeball and throw it at Jaffel.
Hmm.
He's like anti-magic. Look at him. He does look very cool.
I don't think anything consisting of what this entity consists of could be cool. I would have accepted fiery hot as an answer though, Aaron.
All right. Anything else?
The marks will, confirm with the Black Network, uh, probably through Citizen, give him some that, they're willing to support them in a conflict in Westgate.
Oh,
You
you're welcome.
know, they are also, but like since the war is, stalemate.
Yes. The Black Network does not believe the current situation with the cult of Sirig and the Red Band host is sustainable.
No.
Yeah. They'd like those people out. But perhaps that'll be something for next.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I was just like, before it's a new year, that needs to be put out there.
Yeah. Right. I'll say thank you all for playing. I know it can be a
you.
little sometimes, but we had a lot of years to get through, and this seemed to be the best way to catch up to speed.
Yeah, a decade cruising through 2 sessions. When we come back rested next time, not just the dragons, but us as players, there's some big transformations to make some shit decisions.
Yes.
I'm
Certainly things
invested.
look different than they did when you.
Yeah, I'm interested both what's going on in Sheep's region as well as the city of Westgate.
Yeah.
Will the Red Banner host finally meet its end? Find out next time.
Yes, next time. All right. Thanks for the session. I'm going straight to bed. Good night.
Good night.